They did? Are you gonna? Which one treated each other better?
Wait, are you arguing if Nazis treated another group of people better than Jewish people? Like, what the
fuck? Did
Nazi
soldiers treat French women better than Jews did? Yes or no?
I don't know.
They did. I can give you photos, so let me go grab it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, were they white? I mean, this is a stupid claim. Like, what's your ultimate point? Your point is that, oh, you're against Judaism. Like, it's kind of stupid because, like I said, you look at things like, what is your end result? What is your end goal here? If your end goal is to eradicate the world of Jewish people and get rid of like all these groups of people, it's never going to happen. So what are you fighting for? You're fighting a losing match.
I have the picture.
You're fighting a losing match. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're wasting your breath.
I have the picture.
You're in Canada, right? You said you're in Canada?
Let me show it to you. I'll show you the video real quick.
Like, I would go as far north as possible to make your life much better.
Here it is. So here is pictures of Jews actually doing this to French girls. This is pictures, and then so these are Jewish people doing to this. Okay, now look. This Yahtzees over here doing this to French girls.
This is like propaganda.
It's not propaganda.
This is fucking propaganda.
Is that a Yahtzee soldier?
This is propaganda, dude.
Is this a Yahtzee soldier? Yes or no?
Yes, but this is propaganda.
Oh, it's propaganda?
Yeah, this is propaganda. Absolutely. You're literally okay. All right, now show the pictures of Nazis burying a bunch of fucking bodies of Jewish people after Auschwitz. Show that, and you tell me. You tell me.
Don't show that.
I won't show it. So I can't show it, but so I'm gonna give you.
You're spreading propaganda, dude. Like you're
propaganda. That's okay. So
yeah,
who created corn? Who created corn?
Who created corn? America created corn.
No, it did not. Okay, don't.
Wait. Prostitution is the oldest profession in the world, dude.
But who introduced it in World War II Germany?
Wait. Prostitution is the oldest profession in the world.
What's worse, prostitution or corn?
I mean, it all fucking comes from prostitution, right?
So you're telling me that?
Yeah, but which one's worse?
Banned when Shimon was. Oh, if I use Civish, sorry, I never got to follow you. So I can't even follow you. Never mind. Because you're private. But you're telling me, okay, this Red Pill, I'm gonna ask you this right now. How about you go watch Schmiller's speech in English and see if he said anything bad?
Yeah, he said a lot of bad shit.
So give me an example.
He said a lot of bad shit.
Give me one. Give me one sentence.
How Jews are basically how Jews are essentially insects that need to be eradicated.
Yes, they are insects because they follow a religion that hates us.
Yeah. That's like and then how?
Well, that's bad to say, but it's okay for them to call us.
Okay, how about what he says about black people?
Thank you for conceding that I beat you on
all that shit. How they're monkeys? How they're apes? How they're
African Americans that came here illegally? Yes, they are monkeys by definition. Yes.
Who? Black people?
African Americans who came here illegally? Yes. In Germany? Yes.
African Americans are in America.
Yes.
What is the gene that you could point to that shows that they're monkeys?
Well, do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do.
So then, therefore, you believe that we came from monkeys. Thank you. So
would that mean white people who came over illegal? Also
yes, we're all monkeys. But so him saying a black person's a monkey, therefore,
yeah, but you know racist. That's like that's basically a racist. That's a target.
How's it racist? How's it racist?
I mean, you're targeting like one.
It wasn't a racial term at that time.
Are you fucking serious right now? Or are you like just being low IQ for a reason?
I'm a low IQ. Okay, if I'm a low IQ, what's the sixth planet away from the sun if I'm a low IQ?
Let's see. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. There you go.
Hey, you're smart. Okay, you're smart. So
I mean, that's not really. That has nothing to do with IQ. More so just knowledge, right?
So I want to say this. You think I have a low IQ, okay? But you believe in the Jewish propaganda. If it said 20 million Christians on a red pill, if it said 20 million Christians are unalive during the Bolshevik Revolution,
that's wrong as well, dude. That was wrong as well.
Well, let me jump in here just really briefly.
You don't believe that red pill?
I just want to ask the red pill guy one question, because I understand, kind of what's going on, but somebody told me something today about when somebody calls himself a leftist, it's just like a code word for liberal.
That's fucking wrong. That's very fucking wrong. There's a
disagreement. Offensive. You know how offensive you just made me? You just offended me like no other. Saying the Bolshevik Revolution was not real, the 20 million Christians that were unalive, saying that wasn't real, but World War II Germany was real.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You were fucking sick.
What are you talking about?
You were mentally ill.
What are you talking about?
You just said that that didn't happen.
I know. I said if that happened, then that's wrong too.
You just said it didn't happen.
I never said it did or did. I said if that did happen, that's wrong as well.
If it didn't happen, if it happened, so school doesn't.
If it happened, that's wrong. What the fuck?
So thank you for proving to me that school doesn't teach you what Jews did to Christians, only what other people did to Jews.
Dude, I learned what Jews did to Jesus Christ. What are you talking about?
So therefore,
wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
So therefore, when you said, when Schmittler called the Jews insects,
dude, you're sitting here fucking dick riding Hitler right now. You sound
he had better policies than fucking most presidents have.
Yeah, well, guess what, dude? At the end of the day, and I'll end it on this.
So you have to wake up every.
You have to wake up. No, hold on. You have to wake up every day knowing that you're never going to get the world view that you want. And that's gonna be a depressing life that you're gonna, that's a depressing life you're always going to have to live for the rest of your life, dude.
Let me ask this leftist guy though. So you said that you're not a liberal, but no one calls himself a rightist. If I said I'm a rightist, you would say, well, you're an evil fascist, right?
I mean, names are names, dude. Like I don't know how.
I mean, if I said I'm a fascist, you would say I'm a bad person. I deserve to be unalive.
It depends. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There is some fascism that makes sense. Like I would agree that. I would agree with Singaporean way of fascism.
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm not gonna say if Schmittler did this, U.S. did this, or anyone did this. This is a random thing I searched up. I don't know who did it, but it will say it at the bottom. Tell me which country did this. Worker welfare programs, national worker leisure programs, and provided seasonal holidays, organized travel, and access to cultural events for workers.
I guess Germany.
So yeah, was that not? So yeah, we're correct. It is Germany. So was that a good thing?
I mean, dude, you're asking like these things that are like every country is gonna have programs and things of that nature. Okay, what's next? What's next? You're gonna tell me that Germany? You're gonna tell me Germany, like Germany also has they invented Volkswagen, they also invented Fanta, they've invented a lot of things during their time.
Red pill, the industrial expansion.
What's next? Is going to be the red light, green light. Like, you don't agree to red light, green light. Okay, cool.
Industrial expansion. Without you interrupting, I'm just gonna finish off these last two. Okay. Industrial expansion, state investment in large industrial contracts, expanded factory production, engineering, and manufacturing capacity across the country. By the late 1930s, unemployment had fallen close to full employment levels as the industrial demand for workers.
And then what went wrong?
It's true.
And what went wrong? I'm asking you, what went wrong?
Nothing went wrong after Schmittler was unalive during after the whole war.
So Schmittler not trying to invade a bunch of countries wasn't what thing that went wrong.
Did you not warn them? Did he not warn them?
So are you fucking stupid or like retarded, dude? Which one is that?
So where was Auschwitz located at?
I believe that was in Poland.
Yeah. So why did they have swimming pools there?
What the fuck?
There were swimming pools in Auschwitz. There was actually swimming pools in Auschwitz. You can search it up.
I don't fucking know.
Oh, because they don't teach you that in school, red pill.
What's next? They have basketball courts over there? Like,
they actually had a hockey rink during the wintertime, and they had actually a soccer field.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the Jewish people were having a good old, amazing time.
So why is there
they were. Have you guys heard of the Havara Agreement, where actually
1930 to 1939? 1930 to 1939.
What's next? You're going to tell me slaves in fucking America were treated really well?
Okay, so let me guess. You're against this, right, Pro? Because I know you're against.
Yeah, like you're just like fucking romanticizing Nazi Germany right now, dude.
No, animal protection laws, a national animal protection law.
Because Hitler loved fucking dogs. Like he loved animals. Like I know this.
Therefore, is that a good policy to have?
Well, yeah, but he loved animals and more than he liked Jewish people. Congratulations.
Animals don't hurt. Animals don't hurt people.
No, did you guys that Mean Mr. Mustache basically created the country in the Middle East we can't talk about?
Well, not really. He didn't really create them. He's the reason why they exist, though. But
okay. So your whole point is Schmiller's a very bad guy. He's a very, very bad guy.
No offense, but he probably, if you were alive around in Germany, he probably would have unalived you too.
No, he would not, because I agree with all of his politics.
That doesn't matter. He unalived many people who agreed with them. The fuck?
Me being a white Christian nationalist who agrees, I would literally join his military. I would join his military.
I love how you pointed out that you're white. What does that have to do with anything?
Whites? Because
why does that matter?
Because white people build the Jewish people, they're not white. Jewish people don't think they're white.
Yeah, but like, what does it matter that you're white?
So why are you bringing up Jewish people and they're white, even though Jewish people don't believe they're white?
Yeah, but you said that Jewish people.
No. Stop bringing up Jewish people. Stop bringing up Jewish people then.
I mean, you're the one that's like talking about, oh, I'm a white Christian nationalist. So I'm okay.
Yes,
I'm
white
okay
Christian
fine.
nationalist, believing that I think my country should be a Christian nation because it's the most safest.
Yeah, well,
religion.
here's my point. Like, you haven't addressed my point that I had earlier.
I haven't addressed every point.
Yeah, the point was that you'll never ever see this happen in America or Canada. So where do you just?
It is actually happening in Canada right now. There's actually a lot of protests.
Like, okay, but let's be real. Let's just fucking stop.
The red pill. You asked me to answer your question.
Yeah, that's right. Take that red pill. Exactly.
No,
take the red pill.
No, you keep. No, I'm going to say this.
Let me get one word in really quickly. Like red pill. Would you say that? Would you be the type of person? No. Would you be the type of person who, in like 1830, would tell black people, "You're never going to get free. Just go ahead and give up." Like it may be wrong, but you're never going to have it happen. Like, would you say that to them, or would you say, regardless of the reality of it, you should fight for something that's good or something?
All right, so that's a good question. In my opinion, I don't see those as the same, because one group of people is literally being oppressed, enslaved, right, taken from them, unalive left and right.
You say that the system we live under, but wouldn't you say this? Hold on, but wouldn't you say the system we live under now is stripping people of their human dignity, dehumanizing them, taking away their rights? I mean, wouldn't you say that now?
In ways, but I don't think so. He's arguing for a white Christian nationalist ethno state. That's just unrealistic. It's never going to happen.
It's happening.
It's just that's never going to happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Wait.
Can I finish?
Well, let me. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying really quickly. So, if black people wanted to have their own country and say we don't want other people here, would you be okay with that?
No.
Like morally?
No,
morally.
Fuck no. That would not be right.
Why not? Why not? If they want it, why wouldn't you let them?
Wait. Your argument is like? Are you arguing that?
No. I'm asking you the question. If the Black Panthers tomorrow wanted to take over the state of Georgia and say, look, we want this for us. We're not going to be violent, but we want this for us.
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
I'm only bringing this up for you, Red Pill,
because that America is not. That's not what America is.
You know, it's not happening. By the way, there was actually hundreds of people downtown in Vancouver and Calgary waving the swastika around town, actually praising Schmittler what they did. It's actually, people are so against immigration right now in Canada. It's so bad that white people are actually attacking immigrants. Because
you think that's cool? You think attacking a group, somebody who hasn't done anything to you, is a good thing?
Let me ask you a question, Red Bull. But why do you care more about people from another country than your own country? Like, why do you care more about those people?
Well, we're talking about Israel 24/7, so it's like, I mean, I'm not bringing up Israel.
Yes, because they fund them.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, why do you want all the Indians and the Sikhs and the Arabic people to come to, like, America and Canada? Like, how does that benefit the average black or white or Native American person?
That wasn't my point. That wasn't my point.
Immigrant on DEI because DEI is a very good policy.
Dude, you shut, dude. Like,
no, you agree with DEI, right?
So my point was, dude, can you let me talk, bro? Like, Jesus,
no, if you agree with DEI,
so
no.
My point was that if we look at America, it's already so fucking diverse as is. There's nothing you can really.
But 100 years ago, it was 90+% white. So
yep,
actually,
or European. So
yes, it was. So
yeah, it was.
Ripple, I'll say this: would you be better? Would your mom be better as president than Schmittler?
I don't. Yeah, what the fuck?
It's a yes or no question. Would your mom be better?
Obama be a better president than Schmittler? Yeah, I guess.
You would be. So how would you raise wages and how would you raise jobs?
Like, are we like stick to one thing? Like, what the fuck?
How would you raise jobs? Because you said you can do better. So how would you raise jobs?
I'm not a politician.
But you just said you would do better.
You just said my mom. Like, you're asking.
How would she do better? She doesn't know anything about politics. How would she do better?
You're literally asking this dumb dude. You're fucking low IQ. I'm sorry, bro. You're very low.
I'm low IQ. You can't even give me a simple answer.
Respectfully, you're low IQ. The reason why you're low IQ is because you're bringing up something that has nothing to do with the fucking claim.
It does a claim.
Like, what's next? What's next? Can fucking Barney the dinosaur be a better president or Schmittler? Like, what the fuck? Are you stupid?
Well, Barney the dinosaur is a racist. Yes.
Like you're just gonna bring up like random fucking people and then only give you two options and then like make it out like, okay, this one's the better option.
Would Kamala Harris be better than Schmittler?
Yes. 100%.
Even though she wanted to fund G-side and in the Middle East too, she wanted to support Israel and she wanted to support
I don't think you do. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, I don't really think you're all there, man.
Was to escape religious persecution, correct? Correct.
Of course, you're 100%
Correct.
right.
That
You're
means
100% right.
that means with or without religion, right?
You're 100% right.
So
You're 100% right. Why are we even arguing with you?
Okay. Sweetie.
my point is that you can still be you can be sworn in as, you know, being an elected official. You can choose what you want to be sworn in on, whether it's a, you know, Quran or Bible or what. It
No,
doesn't
as long
matter.
as you're born
has
in the
always
United
been a
States,
Bible.
I don't
Or you
believe
can
in
choose not to. That's also a thing, because this country was founded on the basis of not being
You're
persecuted
100%
for
right.
your
You're
religion or
100%
lack
right.
thereof.
Yep.
This
Everything-
country was actually founded on being conquered. That's what people fail
early
to fucking
American-
understand.
So early American
Half
Protestant
of it we
only-
purchased.
So
What you
only
mean?
early American Protestant only office holding requirements were rooted in the colonial belief that Protestantism was essential for moral character and social cohesion. So yes, in this country, you had to be Protestant to hold political office. There was a couple places, a couple of the original colonies that they allowed Catholicism. But the point is, you had to be a Christian. Protestant is Christian, Catholic is Christian, and our entire Constitution was based off the ideology of Christianity. Consider to say it's not, it's historically.
What were they escaping then?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons.
There was actually
What
a
were
lot
they
more
escaping?
reasons, just religion. It was other than just religion, trust me, but that was the main thing, because there were so many people with different beliefs.
I will never.
Beliefs.
I have never in my life
And
listen.
You obviously don't even change.
There
them.
is no America is not.
Our forefathers left Great Britain to escape religious persecution, pursue economic opportunity, and escape the restrictive political, social, and economic policies of the British monarchy. It wasn't a primary thing. It wasn't one more than the other. There was a multitude of reasons why our founding forefathers got sick of the fucking monarchy rule over the people in Great Britain.
And you want us to now kowtow to your religious beliefs?
No, you're
250 years later?
Okay, I will just say something.
The desire for self-governance. There was a many reasons.
Exactly, self-governance.
Yeah,
regardless of your religious beliefs, thereof or lack thereof. And we should.
Shut up.
Yeah, you thought it was strictly a religious thing? No, it wasn't. It was not.
That's what I said.
Absolutely not.
That's what I said.
It was a multitude of things, not just religion.
Well, sir, Stubby, what you did is what you did. You came in here when I was talking about Muslim religion, and you turned it all around against Christianity, which, listen, like I said, I'm not a like a
That's their agent. They're slipping from one body to another, just like in the movie, bro.
You guys ever have Whataburger?
A whole other account. What an obscurities.
You guys ever have Whataburger?
Of course, I'm from Houston, Texas.
Yeah, me too.
Already.
Born and raised.
You don't sound like it. You sound very slow. And us in Texas, we're not slow.
Oh, are you
We
from
talk
Houston?
slow,
Half
but
the
we're-
people are.
No, we talk slow, but we do that intentionally. We're actually incredibly smart.
Come on, come on.
Motherfuckers is dumb as
No,
hell.
no, we aren't.
All Americans are
Texas?
stupid as fuck. All Americans are stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean. The average American, you are definitely right, is the dumb as the dirt. But yes, most Texans the most Texans that I've met, I don't know Texans y'all meet. Most Texans that I meet talk slow, super intelligent. Super intelligent. Like,
Are white Texans smart or?
I don't know. You ask me. You tell me.
Well, I'm reading your thing. It says all white people are racist. Is that correct?
We had we've been just getting guest violation warnings for the past 3 hours. It's insane. I'm going on mute for the next 5 minutes.
Real quick,
But
what's your
what is
go-to
that
order from Whataburger?
But what is that supposed to mean that white people are racist? What does that mean?
We're
Yeah,
talking
that's the definition.
systemically.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, I'm
Can you
leaving.
define systemic racism?
Don't go down that rabbit hole, bro. We've been through.
We've been through that one. Who's this Tsunami Sounds guy?
Systemic racism.
But you guys are making a positive claim, so I mean,
I'm trying to define that for you. You can look it up. I'm going to give you a general definition. It's basically a system made up of institutions that carry disproportionate. Well, actually, let me just fucking look at the definition because I don't want to butcher that because God knows you're not going to actually look at it.
well, but like if I go to Zimbabwe or Uganda and say you guys have a systemically racist system against people not from your country, would you say that's a valid argument? Like I've lived in other, I've lived in other countries.
Country on Earth,
like,
dude. What are you talking about?
No, I've lived in other countries.
No,
and, you know,
no,
and you literally have to prove that you have blood from that country to have like a full rights.
America's the only country that's ever existed. The only country that will ever exist.
Jack.
How dare you?
Everything we say applies to only America.
Jack, are you done?
Am I dumb? What am I supposed to say? Yes.
Systemic racism refers to deeply embedded structural iniquities within institutions like justice or education. In Zimbabwe, are they not allowed to go to college? They're not allowed to get the same due process as everybody else if something happened to them?
Well, what I'm saying is like
black people don't get due process.
Jack, nobody's talking to you. Yeah, actually.
No,
like I said, that man that just got grapefruited, that man that just got grapefruited, the man that just got grapefruited,
I'm sorry, I don't.
He actually just got ruled a suicide, and they're still trying to overturn it. So no, they don't get actual due process. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, tell me, in Zimbabwe, do they not get education? Do they not get the same access to everything?
Well, what I'm saying is that for example, like if I go to a country that's, you know, like the Congo, any country that's like all black people basically who are from there, right? And I go there and their laws discriminate against me because I'm not from there. I don't have any blood ties to the country or the land or anything. Would it be fair for me to argue that they are systemically racist against me because I'm not a part of whatever they got going on?
You're basically, okay, so I'm going to just tell you what the argument you're making. You're making the argument that black people are not a part of the building of America. Is that what you're arguing?
No,
because then what does your argument actually have value in?
If I go to a country, I'm saying if I go to a closed system that discriminates against me based on the color of my skin or my race, and they're black, can I argue that they're systemically racist against me? Like, is that possible, or is that only possible, like, you know, in Western countries?
So if you go to, so let me fucking make this clear. So if you go to a country you're not from, and the laws do not favor you, which you haven't named actually a fucking country. These are all hypotheticals, by the way.
Based on race, it's a thought experiment just to see like what's the limit of the principle you're arguing for, right?
Well, I already gave you the limit of your principle that you're arguing is the fact that black people are embedded into the society because they are literally the makeup of this fucking society.
I never said they're not. So,
but what you're arguing is going to a country you are not the makeup of and expecting the same discrimination as it to be the same value. That's the argument you're making.
You're anti-immigration, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Jack,
But if I immigrate, if I immigrate to that country and I want to be a part of it and they refuse to allow me to be part of it because of racism or the color of my skin,
it doesn't work like
reason.
that. It only works like how I want it to in exact specific situations, and it doesn't work any other way.
Well, just let her respond because I'm really trying to understand the principle. No, I get you, but like I really want to understand like the principle that they're arguing on because
how is that parallel?
Because if Western people are said that we are not allowed to discriminate based on whatever thing, and we go to other places and we are discriminated upon. Wouldn't that be the same thing that you're arguing for? Is like, wouldn't that be systemic racism if I go somewhere else and I'm not accepted based on the color of my skin or whatever? And again, I'm saying I've
Arguing
experienced.
immigration is not
I've-
arguing embedded systematic. Like what you're arguing is basically saying, well, the apartheid in South Africa is the same thing that is going on. Like you could parallel it to what's going on with us and the black people here. It's not the same. There are different levels, and you can't.
You're not understanding.
Zero, shut the fuck up because I was trying to finish my point. Respectfully, you do not know how to shut the fuck up. Like everybody, genuinely, I let everybody talk. Shut the fuck up at a certain point so I can finish my point.
You're not getting what he's saying.
Anyways,
you're wasting your breath.
Shut up, because no, you have to use your ears in order to actually listen. That's how it fucking works.
You're wrong though.
I'm trying to understand. I'm having a linear conversation. I'm not talking to you. I'm trying to understand how is that parallel, because you're bringing up an immigration like customs to a person, to a nation, and you're trying to make it parallel to the fucking systematic racism that we're dealing with in America.
No, he's not talking about immigration though.
It says all in the thing over there.
You keep bringing up the fact that you're immigrating. So how does it not have to do with immigration? Started with the nation that you're from.
Here's the main thing I'm trying to get at. Can black people be systemically racist in a all black nation? Is that possible? Like if there was a country that was all black, if there were to be a country that were all black, would it be possible for them to be systemically racist against an outsider?
No, nigga, that's not how it works.
It is how it works, to be honest. But yeah, they're not going to tell you that. They're just going to let you have you hang around. And then
She's trying to Google. She's trying to Google the answer right now.
You dumb fuck white people are all the same.
Yeah, now we're idiots because he's making a valid point.
It's not.
There's no valid point when all of your fucking points are hypotheticals. Name a country in Africa that's.
Hold on. Everybody mute up. Okay, so I'm back in the conversation. We're about to play a game, okay? We're about to play a game called debate. Okay, if you're on the panel, that means you're in the debate. You have to choose a side. I am going to keep quiet. If I advocate for your position and you need help, you can just say host. That is what the game is called, host. So I'm going to keep quiet. You're going to debate. I need to hear validity. And if you need my help, like how that individual just asked that obscurity right there, that's an easy question to respond to. If you don't know how to respond to it, that's fine. Just say host. I will chime in. Let's get to it.
I like this nigga.
I'm sure you have a parachute talking like that.
So host, how would you respond to my very easy question?
We'll ask it again.
If there's a country that is all black, would it be possible for them to be systemically racist against somebody else who's not from their race or their country?
So you're asking a question, but you need to be asking another question. You need to be asking if black people created the system of race to essentially advocate for their race only. That is the only way they could be racist.
Well, here's the question that you should be asking does anybody who looks like non-melanated responsible for the actions of other non-melanated people who lived hundreds or thousands of years ago?
That's not the whole reason why we're talking about these individuals.
Well, it is because
what is the reason why?
Well, you're arguing that you said your prompt says all white people are racist, and so
due to what?
Due to the actions of people who were born long time ago.
Tell us exactly why it is.
Well, obviously, I don't understand. That's why I'm asking.
Well, then what the fuck are you having a position in opposition for? You should be asking.
Well, I'm asking a question.
You should be asking contextual questions, getting clear with the context prior to having a position in opposition. That's what an intelligent person would do.
Well, I've asked nothing but questions. I'm trying to clarify your argument. Your argument is
what
all
kind
white
of
people are
racism
racist.
are we talking about? You can generally.
I'm gonna be so dead ass. I'm Agent Smith. I have been the whole time. They were
You're
right.
always Agent Smith.
I'm Agent Smith. They got me tagged.
It's inevitability.
From the start, I'm Agent Smith, and I just wanted to say before I go, yes, I do rule the world.
This is
Okay.
you see
So
the currency we
again,
have to deal with?
all white people are
He thinks he rules the
racist.
world. See, hold on. Let's expound on this. He thinks he rules the world. Is he like 100 million up?
So
We
if
all know
somebody's
that he is.
delusional, are you going to make
Mute
fun?
up, mute up, mute up. So I'm
Are you going to
talking.
make fun of a
Are
crazy
you,
person?
do you hear me talking? So again, you see how you can't even let me expound on it because it embarrasses you. That's the reason why you keep interrupting me, because you're getting secondhand embarrassment from that shit.
You're sensitive.
No, you're
deflecting
interrupting
again.
me, and I'm sensitive. Now you're projecting. It's
You're
obvious.
dancing
Your
around
feelings
the
are hurt because somebody's
Obvious
challenging your idea.
manipulation. Obvious manipulation. Come on now. You're dealing with me.
Well,
Now.
calling all white people
Come on
racist
now.
is
Come on
manipulative
now.
as well.
You guys are coercive. You know,
You're
coercion is not going to
you're
work.
blaming me for the actions of people born hundreds of years ago. How's that make any
Okay, we're
sense?
talking about in real time.
I don't
We're
even
talking
believe
about
in
a
the term
concept.
white. White is a totally made up term. I don't even believe in that.
You're not white.
Well, maybe according to some people, but I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the term.
Reboot. You
Well,
can't even take
it's easy to spew out things when you have no opinion
you
of
guys
your
are absolute NPCs. Just mute up. I want to hear somebody else. Zero. What's your position?
Oh, so wait, why are you running away from the argument?
Mute up. We'll pendulate.
Yeah,
and
he's
come
running.
back
No,
to
I
you.
won't. I won't mute up.
Okay.
Been like that for the past 2 hours, mate.
Zero. Position.
So what is your definition of a racist first?
Systemic racism. Why does that matter? I don't understand. Why do you always go to that? Why do you go to semantics? What does that matter? Tell me the correlation.
I mean, definitions matter.
Why?
I mean, you have to define what words mean.
Well, why does that matter?
Because I mean, racist can be a generalized term. I mean, it can just
even if it is.
Say it again, sir.
So even if it was, I'm just hypothetically speaking. So like, what is the validity in you trying to find semantics? I don't understand.
It's not semantics. I'm just trying to boil down to your point of what you believe racism is.
So hold on. So you know what semantics is, right?
Yeah, I mean, just basically bullshit.
No, semantics is words. This is why we need to understand words that we talk about.
Right. But I mean, semantics means it's just bullshit.
Right. So look up semantics.
I mean, semantics, the base term of it is
what the fuck is going on?
Generalized words. It means that you believe that a word can mean one
Just
thing.
Look up semantics. Tell me what semantics definition is.
What definition would you like? Oxford?
Just fucking Google it. It doesn't even matter. Y'all act like fucking, you don't understand the definition. Definitions, not only are they tertiary, but the dictionary itself is a definitions not only are they subjective, but the dictionary itself is a tertiary source. In addition to that, the dictionary is just a collection of words colloquially used. It's just like a collection
the meaning of a word or phrase.
That's all it is. So it doesn't tell you the functionality. That's what we're talking about here. The functionality. Do you understand how racism functions in society?
Sure. I mean, you want to go interpersonal, institutional, internalized? Which way do you want to go? Systematic?
We're only talking systemic, not systematic.
Oh. I mean, it depends on which route you want to go down. So then you don't believe that.
I just told you, we're only talking systemic. Why? Because that's the origin. So that's the only objective type.
Right. So then you believe racism is a system.
I'm listening.
Right. So if someone calls you the N-word, how is that racist? If racism is a system,
is that relevant when we're talking about
systemic
racism? No, it's not. So that tells me you don't understand systemic racism, because interpersonal racism is irrelevant. We know this.
Right. So then how are all white people racist? And what exactly do they do to you?
Systemic positioning.
Right. I understand 100% what you're saying. That white people.
What is systemic positioning?
You believe that white people are at the top of the hierarchy that continue.
No. That is not systemic.
Hold you down.
What is systemic positioning?
Here we go again.
It's wild that y'all don't know this.
That's semantics, though.
Why don't you know what the definition is, and why don't you want to know? If I'm telling you that's the answer, then why don't you want to know? It's almost like you know or something, or your identity won't allow you to uncover that information. Get the fucking definition.
systemic positioning. I just told you verbatim, and you heard me. So if you don't know it already,
I
then get
understand
abreast
fully
to it.
what systemic is. I mean, it's not a
Give him an example.
Fucking
example of
example.
what?
I'm not.
You want me
I'm
to
not
give him an example?
Future. We're all
No.
adults.
No,
We're all
no, no.
adults. Listen,
Breathe.
listen, love. We're all adults. Okay, we need to stop performing. That is the issue here. Too many people are coddled. Okay, you are not my 3-year-old. My 3-year-old
Okay.
needs me to coddle him.
And that's fine. That's fine. So then you
Okay.
believe that white people control the
don't
entire
jump. You see
system.
how you're already doing the Michael Jordan thing.
No, you asked
pivoting
me
all over the
to
place.
define
I
systemic.
asked you to define systemic positioning.
And that's where I was getting at.
So give us. Boom. I'm waiting.
I mean, it's the effect of the entire body or the organization or system. It's not a hard term to understand. I'm not an idiot like most of these people that come up here.
Is that what you understood and what you just said? So explain what you just said.
Systemic, it would be the entire system.
Okay. So when I say systemic positioning, what is it referring to?
You got me there. Explain your point on that.
I mean, you just read us the definition. Did you not?
Right. But I mean, systemic.
So that tells you that if you can't answer that question, you don't understand the context.
So then you're
in which
saying the
reading.
position in the system.
You're talking and not learning, mind you. Okay, so all
So
I'm trying to say is if you just read us the descriptive definition and you don't understand it, there's something missing there.
I didn't read the definition. I know what the definition is.
So then you obviously don't know because you told us some random shit.
I mean, goddamn, can I ask you my question?
You can just give us the fucking definition. I don't understand. Why are y'all running from this definition all night?
Sir, I just gave you the definition.
All night. Y'all have been running from this motherfucking definition. I don't understand what's going on here.
I just gave you the definition, sir.
Brother, just give us the definition of systemic positioning. The actual definition verbatim.
The precise placement of an organism within the hierarchical classification system based on its evolutionary relationship, shared ancestry, and morphological or molecular traits.
Did you understand that?
Yeah, 100% understand what it is, and that's what I've been trying to explain to you.
So who does that pertain to?
And that's what I've been trying to ask you this whole time instead of going around all of this.
Respond. Who does that pertain to?
I mean, in your definition, it'll be white people.
No. You just read the definition. We all heard the definition you just read for
right.
So who does that pertain to in the system?
Within the hierarchical classification system?
Yes.
The hierarchy would be white people by your definition.
The hierarchy is everyone. What don't you understand about that? The hierarchy is everyone.
But by your own admittance,
no, there is no by your. We're talking about one thing, which is what?
And that's why people get so frustrated on your panel because you don't let anyone finish a sentence.
People don't get frustrated on our panel, and we're going viral. So keep all that bullshit, keep all that hate to yourself.
I don't have any hate. But what I'm saying is,
like, what the fuck? You just throwing? You're not gonna throw rocks over here. You can try. It's gonna go right back to you. So I need to hear validity. Don't get mad at me.
I mean, you don't let no one talk. That's why you never get validity. You cut people off.
You don't get no one. You don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Dude, every time I've tried to talk and explain every time I've tried to talk and explain
Who gives a fuck?
My position, you shut people up.
You need education, and you're mad that you're dumb.
I'm extremely educated.
It's not my fault.
And that's why you mute me because you know I'm well educated. Because you know you have someone that can match your education.
This guy.
Hey, Bree, I gotta hop off.
You talk over me.
Lane,
good luck.
I appreciate you, love.
Good luck. Have a good night.
So you mute and you talk over.
Already. W Lane in the chat. Wholeheartedly.
I mean that's been proven numerous times tonight. You mute and you talk over.
W Lane in the chat. Wholeheartedly. Definitely W Lane. Let's hear some validity, guys. You guys are stretching it out. It's like I don't hear shit.
I'm trying to, but you keep talking over and muting me.
It's like, show us the science, and when we show you the science, and it's like, no, not that science. Let's go back to semantics.
They start.
What do you what?
What fucking science are you talking about, Sparky? You sound like an obscurantist. What's
Damn,
science?
you can't even read. His name's Spanky. Damn,
There
you can't
is.
even read, but you claim
What
you're
do you think I
educated.
what do you think I just said?
You said Sparky.
This guy can't hear and he can't read.
Bro, you said Sparky. His name is Spanky.
Interesting.
I mean,
Let's get a valid argument. Not that argument, a valid one.
Can't even read, but you claim you're educated.
Like we've seen the game. Like at least fucking be good faith and debate someone already.
He won't.
You're just prancing around like a little bitch.
Man, I can take all you obscurantists on at the same time.
So because we have a differing view of you, that's what you believe it says.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And there you go again, chimping out.
No, let's go. Well, you know about the animal DNA and the genome, so let's not project here.
I'm not projecting
I'm
because
you're the one with the animal DNA. But
we don't have animal
digress.
DNA.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do. And you have Neanderthal DNA. Let's not project here. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
PR campaigns that he's doing now, and Newsom hasn't dropped out.
Yeah, I literally, like, someone that I follow on Instagram literally posted that they said that the word is Newsom has dropped out of the race of 2028.
That's just rumor. They say the word is, that's just rumor. There's no evidence to point to.
It's way too early for him to announce a dropout yet. They haven't even held a primary.
Yeah, but he'll drop out before that. Like, he's going to drop out.
I just don't understand how he
I don't
thinks
think
that
so.
he would get any
I
traction.
think so. I think
on it.
you'll be sadly. I think you'll be sad.
Do you guys want Chad Bianco to go into office for the government? Like for governor?
Who?
Chad Bianco for the people that are in California.
He's the sheriff down.
Yeah, he's actually ahead in the polls right now, and actually, I would vote for him.
I like the guy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we're gonna make California an open carry state, and I can't wait for that. So
I know.
I'm good. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't have any pew-pews. They all got lost in a terrible shipwreck. I am so sorry.
Dude, I went on a fishing trip and I just lost everything on a fishing accident.
It was a damn boating accident.
Wait, what happened now? Wait, what happened?
Your mom?
No. I mean, what's happening in California? What's going on with California?
Me and Callie went on a fishing trip and we lost all of our PPs.
No, but I mean, what rules are changing? I didn't understand. What you said.
Open carry state.
What? Open
Chad Bianco, if Chad Bianco gets elected, his whole Chad Bianco is the person running for governor. He's the sheriff of Riverside County. His whole goal is, if he gets elected, one of his promises is Second Amendment carry in the state. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that, but
Yeah, I think that would make California. Well, I don't know. I have mixed feelings, honestly. Like, I don't want to say what I really think because, like, I do live in California, but.
Oh God, you probably live in Southern California.
No, I live in Northern, but.
Oh damn.
But the truth is like I am pro gun control just because like I think that like some people shouldn't be allowed to have guns. To be honest with you, like I don't know if you guys have seen like these like dumb
Okay.
kids with like an AR pistol or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think
there's
they
no
should
AR
have
pistol. Okay.
Yeah, but you get what I'm like. What I'm saying is like these gangs. Well, what I'm saying is these gang.
Can we say like gang? Because I'm not.
Yeah. Sorry. These young urban youth that go around robbing and doing crimes, right? Yeah. They should not. Like honestly, I don't think they should even be like allowed to be roaming after they've done a certain number of crime. But on top of it, like I don't think they should be allowed to own a weapon.
But legally,
you know what I mean?
If you're a child, you're not able to own a weapon.
But I'm saying like obviously there's like people who graduate out of like being a child or and whatever, become 25 and still doing the same thing, right? So either way, I'm just saying like I'm not pro gun control, but like after living in California, like
PPOs.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not.
PPO control.
Oh my god, dude, this is just too Orwellian in some ways. But yeah, I get you. But yeah, so whatever, you get the idea. Like I'm not really pro pew pew control, but I am definitely like in the instance of California, I can see why they've done it and how it has worked. And I think this is part of why they're trying to get Gavin Newsom in, because I think that they're like, and I don't like Gavin Newsom at all. I'm just saying, like, I think, you know, they're trying, I think that they want to restrict pew pews, but kind of in more of a California way, which is not good. But I can see why California did that, given their situation here. Because, like, what I mean is, like, I call California kind of like a big prison gang. You know, like it's like a big prison, right? Like things kind of run on prison politics in California, right?
Yeah, I would disagree with that.
Yeah, you're talking to like 4 people from California. No.
So this is what I'll tell you, right? I think that the pew pew control doesn't help the actual safety of the people, and this is why. I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. Okay. If I'm walking around with my wife and I see 3 men coming at us aggressively and actually try to do something to my wife, and they're 6'2", 5 whatever, and then 6'4", I am not fighting. I am not throwing hands. I have a Smith that's married to a Wesson.
I thought you lost it. Damn.
I lost it in a fishing accident, unfortunately. But I'm like kind of like Magneto from the X-Men.
Accidents are crazy.
You know?
For real though.
But here's the thing: is like even in a very clear self-defense case, like the lawfare that they do against people is really, really bad, right?
I know. So, for example, let's talk about that. Vince Ritchie out of LA, right? Somebody that I know. 3 people jumped over a concrete wall in his home in LA, where his wife was inside and his newborn baby. He had just gotten back from work. And they jumped over the wall to rob him, and he had it on him, and he pew-pewed back. And then they tried to prosecute him. The NRA had to actually pay for lawyer fees and stuff like that. And it was like a big case back in, I believe, 2022. I'm sure if you look it up, you'll be able to find it, right? He won, ultimately, I think. But, I mean, you think about that, right? It's like, why are you prosecuting the person that's protecting their home?
Yeah.
That seems like a load of bullshit.
Well, it definitely is, because, again, I think California is...
It's
kind of like, yeah, well, it's I don't really like to use this term, but I would say that it is communist in the worst sense of it, where it's like they're obviously trying to use like racial, identitarian, communistic tensions, and basically the aristocratic, you know, like tech workers and stuff like this, like they just go about their life pretending like nothing is wrong because, you know, they're just living in a academic world that's kind of like its own little bubble, while the rest of us have to go out and like actually deal.
Name. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that he was one. Okay. Like, seriously, dude? Oh, I was trying to stop it. No, you weren't, because you fucking signed it. So, yeah, I don't care for Newsom.
Tell me how you really feel.
That's how I really feel, because I don't think people like that should be let out.
I'm gonna throw my
Dude,
rock
I
at
should
him.
I should send you I should send you a few screenshots of my grandpa's rants on Facebook about Newsom.
I want to see this.
Dude, they're fucking great.
But yeah.
He talks about my grandpa will like make fun of how he gets his butthole bleached and shit. And how he uses the taxpayer dollars to get his butthole bleached.
Eventful Thanksgiving, huh?
For real. I want to be at that family dinner.
I don't know. I haven't gone to a family Thanksgiving in probably 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I want to go to one of those at his
How
house.
old are you?
35.
50 years old.
How do you sound like you're 25?
I've aged gracefully.
Puberty blockers.
Right.
It's true. He has better boobs than I.
He does. He sells them on OF
I'm
too.
gonna-
That's saying a lot because mine are amazing.
Morgan, I'm gonna need you to substantiate that in my DMs.
I've substantiated that claim with many people. I don't need to do it with you.
Yeah, but you've made the claim to me, and now it needs to be substantiated.
Better make a donation into my bank account.
Out of pocket.
How big a donation are we talking here, Morgan?
Remember, Joe, you send them to other people though, so
I have never.
that's what we're on.
And honestly, any pictures I have ever received from anyone have been deleted upon that person being no longer a part of interactions.
But you kept it for a little while, didn't you?
No.
You
I have
lying.
respect.
Well,
No,
it ain't that kind of
actually.
live.
I'm not that kind of person. If I'm no longer involved with someone, there is no need for me to have imagery of them and my access
I'm
to
saying
them.
while you are involved, right? Like while you're involved, like you're like, yeah, I'll keep.
No, I was.
I'll take a
At
look
some
at
point
it
in
every once in
time.
a while, you know.
No, I don't dwell on the past.
Well, obviously, once they're the past, you move on from that. But I'm saying while they're still in your life, you keep it, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's wanted to clarify there.
Yeah, if they're still in my life, obviously, I'm going to keep imagery. Yeah.
Get a little quick peek here and there.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes you're having a real long day at work and you just need to pick me up.
I'm gonna go bleach my brain out now.
How do you even do that?
I'm not gonna tell
Yeah.
you.
There has never existed a straight man who has had a significant other or like a girlfriend or a wife or whatever who has been upset at receiving a titty picture midday at work.
Well, yeah, I know.
Same thing applies.
I don't know about like the D though. I think I'm good.
Yeah, dude sending pictures is
even start looking into this Arab and all of this Muslim stuff, we might even find that to just be mix, or what you're calling modern day mix rate. I'm just here to look at the evidence and examine the evidence. Let's not just say stuff.
Look, that's true. I mean, there's no doubt that Europeans are mixed at this point in terms of ethnicity. You know, the French are Spanish and German and Italian, or the British are Norwegian and Irish or whatever. There's no doubt that that's true, but there is a core concept of Christendom.
Jack Wolf, it's deeper than that. Do you want me to tell you how deep this goes? Yeah.
doesn't-
Listen,
Oh my God.
listen, everyone's mixed. But to make it worse, this is what everyone
Sure.
does. Everyone around the world, this is what they was doing. They were doing some type of incest. Yeah. Because they prefer to sleep with their cousin, yeah, and keep the wealth in the family. That's what they do, bro. And when you look around,
Right.
that's like,
And so the every race did too.
That's
It's
how
not
you
just
keep
one.
them. I'm not saying this one race. I'm talking about all people.
Oh,
This is what people do in general, all across the planet, in every corner of the earth. So this is why you got people looking the way they look now. When you go to one place and they might all look very similar. There might only be a certain amount of faces. If you go and look at the science of this stuff, you start to realize, hold on, there's only a certain amount of faces within each so-called race. Yeah, that means it's all incest there.
We're not, but okay.
You fancy your cousin, innit? It's not my fault, bro. Just relax. And understand who you are.
Oh, we're relaxed, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
You
yeah,
like
I
that one,
stuck the
innit?
word on that one, man.
That one's a world beater, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you got me, man. Dumb me out. I'm out of fact now. Dumb me out.
It is what it is. Listen, I had to say this to my own family members. Like, I got cousins. I'm Jamaican, and I sat down with my uncles, grand uncles, yeah, granddaddy, yeah, all of them people. I sat down with them. I said, "Yo, how does this thing really work, though? Because Jamaica's a small place, and it's a small island like England. It's not no massive country, yeah. So I'm saying there's only a certain amount of time before everyone is connected, isn't it, Granddad? And my
Can I say
granddad-
something to Jason?
Well, okay, no, look, you bring up a point that needs to be brought up. You say it's only a matter of time before we're all mixed in. And I'm kind of posing the question, does it have to be that way? Is that even desirable? To me, that's not desirable.
Well, I think white.
By the way,
well, I
hold
think.
on. I like
I think
Jamaican
white males
culture.
and I think white
Hold
males
on,
and
hold
Asian
on a
people.
minute.
I think white males and Asian females
Hold
are
on. I like Jamaican culture. Like I like reggae. I'm a huge fan of reggae.
I like Jamaican
reggae
girls, man. I
wouldn't
don't know about you.
exist. Hold on. Reggae and Jamaican culture wouldn't exist if Jamaica was like 70% white or something. It wouldn't be the same
Bob Marley's
place.
50% white. Bob Marley is
I get that.
50% white. What are we doing, brother? Listen,
Look,
I'm gonna
I
show you
get
something.
it.
If you go, let's wait, please, fall back. If you go and look at the history of this reggae thing, yeah, you're gonna look at it one
studying
sided.
Rastafarian is brilliant.
And you see, because you're looking at it one sided, this is what you're saying. You're gonna say, listen, these people was creating this music, and if they didn't, I get it. But if people didn't love the music, it still would have been the same thing. So the people that love it are just as important. And you have to understand there's a lot of white people.
Well, it is complicated because reggae comes
I am
from
a proper
Motown,
whitey, but I love
which
reggae.
is, black people who are using, white instruments in Detroit. It's Motown and reggae's influence from that. So I get that it's all mixed up.
Wait, no, you're not getting away with that today. Explain the white instruments now. What do you mean by that, bro?
What the hell is that?
Well, I mean,
hold on one second. Let me say hello to everybody, number one. Number two, we've always been mixed. This is all a construct.
No, it's not. No, we haven't all been mixed.
Yes, you can go back to Greece, you can go back to Egypt, you can go back to Mesopotamia. I've been saying
it, bro. I've been saying that.
Like literally, dude, you can go back into history. They want us to believe that everybody came out of Africa and everyone like moved out and everyone's always been in the same. There were black people in Europe. There were Egyptian mummies with red hair, bro. We've always been mixed. It's not a matter of if we want to be mixed or not. It's a matter of if it's imposed on us or if it's by choice. That's the issue.
Well, whether it's regardless of that, what I'm saying is that's not even desirable.
Man.
That's not desirable. I don't want to live in that world. It's not desirable if it's
imposed on you. Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question though.
I want it to be imposed. I don't want to live in a world where we're colorblind.
I believe we need our individual culture because that's what makes us beautiful, man. That's what makes humanity beautiful.
But Jack, let me ask you a question. Have you never found an Asian woman attractive or a black woman?
I've dated everybody, bro. Like
I'm talking to Mr.
No, I know, but I'm talking to you and I'm talking to anyone else who's listening.
I can find people from different races attractive. That doesn't mean I'm gonna procreate with them.
Why not?
Why not? Because that's not my culture. That's not me.
You're like more of a nationalist. No, I get it. I have a lot of friends.
No, but if you had a kid who was like a mix, you would have like a new thing, and then you would have your own culture, right?
I respect.
Are you saying I was right then? Are you wait? Is he saying I was right then? He wants to have kids with his cousin. He don't want to go outside the family, and I understand it.
That's not true.
What we got to start doing is being honest about this.
There's a lot more white women than just my cousin. Let's get real.
They are all your cousins, don't you get it?
Yes, I agree that race is just an extended family on some level. I agree with you. I don't want to fuck my cousin anymore.
No, most of it's a fucking construct, man. It really is.
Be honest with you, lads. Can I be honest with you? Yeah, I know a lot of like BOK women because I'm BOK, obviously. I've even got kids with one, but she's a mixed one. They're both mixed ones, to be fair. Like to some extent, like I'm a little bit mixed as well, but people just don't recognize the mix. But I'm saying at that point, I'm gonna say this to you, yeah, really and truthfully, yeah, like I'm not really trying to be with my cousin like that. And I understand, how we're related more than I understand how we're not related. This is the problem. Now, some people, what they do is they say, well, if I'm X amount of times removed, if you're, say for instance, then you got one person who's like, my first cousin, I'd never go there. But if they're a second cousin, I don't really know you like that. Then
we've all got a mate who's done it and all.
Yeah, and this is the thing, you can get to like, and this is when you say you got a mate. Listen,
I've got a pal who's second cousin. He said there's nothing wrong with it. I went, you are wrong, mate.
Listen, you're not going to get out of this. No one's getting out. This is a world beater. I told you. Look,
I'm listening.
You got second cousin, then you got third cousin, then you got fourth cousin. Yeah. When you get to fourth cousin, a lot you don't even know who your fourth cousin is. It's crazy work. When we get to fifth cousin, we're definitely in the realm of I don't know. You don't know. Yeah, you're confused.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You see, when we get to like 6, 7 times removed, now we're talking something like your nation. It's crazy work.
Right, and that's fine. Like I don't see a problem with that.
I know you don't, and that's what I said. For everyone, it's going to be different, innit? Now, I'm just not trying to be dating my cousins or be in a relationship with my cousin or be married to my cousin or have kids with my cousin.
It's not really your cousin now.
It really is.
It is
really not.
Really
I'm just being
where
honest.
I live, right? I live sort of just outside London, a little village there. Right? And then we'll
Who's
kill
gonna meet their
cousins.
like 0.1% DNA. Once
Who's
you
gonna
get
meet their
past like
fifth
your third
cousin?
cousin, you have like 0.1% DNA.
It's gonna get mad for you, bro. It's gonna get
I can't believe I'm
It's people
defending.
who've met people like they've met some bird in the nightclub.
That's it. I don't have any
Getting older and got
problem
married
with
and
it. As long as
realised
it's
they were
not
cousins.
I can't.
Because I think all cultures we need to remain unique because that's what makes humanity, beautiful. Everyone's the same.
Maybe it's a good thing for some. I'm just trying to give you a quick breakdown so you understand the logistics of the thing. Now,
But I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
I never said there's anything wrong. I'm helping you understand the logistics. Now, in understanding the logistics,
No, I'm saying I don't think there's anything wrong with other cultures getting together. I've done it.
In understanding the logistics, what I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to show you what people recognize and what they choose to recognize from what they don't choose to recognize. If anyone took the time to do a quick Google search and said, are most of the people in any given country related? It will tell you directly yes. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get more, in some cases, more than 90%. It's crazy work. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to go for your cousin because that's what you've done. That's what you've been taught. You've been brainwashed.
Well, I mean, look, I don't want to be crude about this, but like it's been worse. Like, you know, people were like marrying their sisters. So like if I'm, you know, hooking up with my cousin's cousin, that's like I don't know. It's not the
like
worst.
you ring up your boss in the morning and say, I can't
I
come to
hate
work
to
today. I'm
defend this,
sick. I'm in bed with my sister. No, that's sick. Like,
You forced my hand here, host. I have to defend cousin fucking, I guess.
Well, listen, this is what you've been doing for centuries and trying to break it down. Look, I'm with the good Lord. I could never do such a thing, but at the same time, I understand.
You wouldn't even know. It's your cousin's cousin's
The world is confused. Listen, the world has been confused. It's been confused for years because they got the wrong teachers. They got people leading them to spiritual destruction. And unfortunately, like you see, like I said, most people don't recognize this. If they actually had this information, if this was taught to you from an early age and you actually understood it, then you might think different. So they don't teach it to you. So they teach it to you the way they want you to learn it, whoever they may be.
Well, I agree on some level that we haven't been able to have an honest, open conversation on race. And that's actually why I'm here. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not like a bigoted right winger. I mean, I am right wing, but I'm not bigoted. Whatever notions you might have of me, you know, I'm actually just trying to figure out the truth. That's really what I'm
It's
here
not
to do.
you though, bro. Listen, it's not you. It's the world that's corrupt. And you're part of the world. So yeah, it involves you, but it's not just you. Do you get it? So at that point, what I'm saying to you is, you know, we live in a world where they will accept a woman as a man and a man as a woman.
Yeah.
If I ask this question, it becomes controversial.
And it becomes difficult when you get married.
And it is the taboo. Race is the taboo of our day.
But
Much
hold
like
on,
sex
but-
was the taboo of
But let me,
in England.
but let me ask you a question though. You've never seen a man dressed as a woman that looks very convincing and been turned on? I mean,
Wow, pause.
No.
Super pause on
You ain't
that.
been to Thailand.
Let me get 4 dogs with, like, I don't know, 16 paws.
Jason knows what I'm talking about. Jason, tell him what I'm talking about.
Oh, you talk about the Thai boys and all that. My mate went to Thailand, right? And he went there. He got it. This like 100% Gary. This like he's a boy. Like and he got back and got a lady boy.
Bro, please.
Didn't
stop.
know.
Bro,
That's
wait,
how convincing it is.
Bro, wait, Jason, don't.
Oh,
Please.
okay, well,
Please, guys, look. I don't do this carnal stuff. I
And
don't
then
do this carnal
he
stuff.
actually knocked her out. Or him.
Right, but bro, let's just stop that because we don't want to
Sorry.
get into any type of derogatory type of
Sorry,
conversation.
man.
I'm not doing that. Listen, I don't even talk about stuff like that, bro. That's crazy. Like, let's get a pause on that.
Yeah, I don't know how to go on that one,
The
man.
logical conversation we was having because, like I said, I'm with the good Lord. I don't play these ways.
Yeah,
So,
man.
I'm
I
not
practice
no one
wisdom,
living their
man.
life, or I'm not saying anyone can't be what they want to be, but I'm saying there's a point where people can't in it because it's if I say is a YT person, can a YT person identify as BOK? You're all telling me no. And if I say can a BOK person identify as YT, everyone's telling me no. So at that
Well, what would you say? What's your opinion on it?
well, my opinion is this. We live in a world where a man can be identified as a woman can be identified as a woman can be identified as a man. Yeah, their gender.
Right, but is that the world you want to live in?
Wait. They say it's gender fluidity and all of these type of things. And to me, I don't even understand it. So I'm not even going to keep talking about it. I tell you what. I tell you one thing I do understand. This thing that they're calling race. Yeah. There's more things that make us the same than there are that make us different.
Well, I agree on some level.
The problem with it, one second. The problem with that is this, yeah? Everyone in their individual so-called races is playing this game of self-destruct, yeah? And they don't even realize they're self-destructing, yeah? They don't even realize they're not even a race. We're all one race. You might have a different complexion. We can talk about different complexions. You might have a different phenotype. We can talk about different phenotypes. But you see, the thing is, once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. It's like, for instance, if I know that I've seen in my lifetime, I've seen a YT person and a BOK person, and it's like they got the same damn face, just different hair. It's crazy work. It's like an Asian person. I've seen an Asian person and a BOK person. And they look, I've seen an Asian, the YT, and the BOK, and they all look similar. It's like, this is weird. It's weird.
No, there's truth to that. I've seen the black Tom Hanks. I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, mate. But I've actually had like black girlfriends, and I'm white, and you do get that look from another.
This is what I found out when I looked into it deeply. There's only a certain amount of faces in the world. Did you know that? Only a certain amount of different face shapes and sequences. It gets crazy, bro. Yeah, it will get crazy for you before it gets smart. And this is what I'm saying to you. People acting like they got answers. So I'm saying to you, you got your preachers in your church, you got your scientists in your lab, you got your imam in the mosque, you got your rabbi in the other temple. It's all going off, and everyone's just saying one bag of lies and leading you lot to some type of madness where it's like you don't even know what you're doing. Before I started talking about this, no one even acknowledged or even thought to themselves, hold on, if I'm gonna marry a girl within my own nation, what does that really equate to? Is that family? And do we even treat each other like family? When I look into your nations, when I look into your individual nations, now you know you're all related. Look at how you treat each other. Do you really treat each other like you're related? Do you really care about each other?
No, that's a great point. We don't.
That's your whole family member that when you went to war and when you was doing all of these mad things, wherever you're from in the world, you know, and you were sending some of them people out there, that's your own cousin that you sent on the front line there and sat back.
No, this is
well, maybe if the cousins were effing, they would get along better, you know.
It's crazy work, bro. It's crazy work, but this is the world you live in. These are the teachers you got. These are your leaders. And if you look at, listen, if you come to my leader, there will be
No, you're right, man. I
come
agree.
to my leader, man.
That's facts.
Yeah? Come to the prophet. Don't come to the fake teachers, because the fake teachers, that's all they've done for generation after generation. That's why they sent Jesus. That's why they sent Moses. That's why they sent all these people. What makes you think they start sending them? He's here today, ready to do his work. Because we got to stop this. We got to put a stop to this nonsense to the world. We got to make it better.
I agree with you on some level. I don't want to. I'm not here to be like the Mr. Racist or something. That's not what I'm here to do. Because I agree.
Well,
with
that's too bad. That's too bad. That'd be fun. I'm just kidding.
But I will play that role tonight because I do think race.
So do you like to dress up at nighttime for your significant other?
Only on the Friday night, mate.
No.
No, I'm just joking. No, I just wanted to say this really quick while I had a chance. I wanted to ask the host, and I appreciate the host because he's a very wise person. I noticed
putting
that.
up with all these.
Yeah, most people won't even have the
all
balls to
night.
talk about this type of thing. And I always get chewed out for talking about this, and I will continue to talk about it.
Before you go again,
Respect, man. Big ups, for real.
Let me say one thing, guys. Look, I'm not the wise man. If you want to talk to the wise man, you gotta come and sit with my teacher. But my teacher ain't like me. You might be having fun right now. When my teacher's around, the fun's gonna stop and the education's gonna start. And this is the thing where you're gonna have to learn to rebuke yourself. You're gonna have to learn to hold yourself better than what you've been doing. Because if we all did that,
we're all going to become Rasta.
Yeah, exactly.
If we all learn to be better. Listen, if we all learn to be better and we all learn the detriment of our behaviors, we're only going to make the world a better place, and we're only going to be able to teach others how to be better. But if no one teaches it to us, we ain't going to know it, and that's the problem. And no one else can do it.
Do you mind me asking, have you ever lived in Liverpool? Because I have a friend from Liverpool, and he has the same accent, and he's mixed white and Asian. I was just wondering.
I've been to Liverpool, man. I've been up there a good few times, man. I like Liverpool.
The Beatles.
Yeah, my friend you have the same exact accent as my friend who's from there. So that's I just think that's interesting. Yeah, and he's
a lot of people talk like me, man. A lot of people talk like me. A lot of people they like to copy the way I talk, copy the wording.
And they copy it down.
My peoples come from that part of the world, somewhere between Liverpool and Wales and Scotland. So if I start drinking enough, I'll start sounding more like that for sure. So.
Yeah.
Yes, brethren.
It's in the blood, you know what I'm saying?
Cool. Listen, whatever
It's in the
sounds
blood,
clever.
man.
It's
Yeah,
like if I'm in Italy, I ain't gonna be talking about no real bad man. I'm gonna be some ciao bella. You see what I'm saying? So depending where you are, you're just gonna, kind of blend in a little bit. So I get that. People are gonna start sounding like each other. It's like, I see this video the other day, and you got the police officer, and you got this roadman. He's got, or looks like a roadman. He's gone up to the car trying to get aggy with the police officer, and they're having a nice little conversation. They both understand each other very well, and I think that's good. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. Like, amalgamation is gonna happen. There's no way around it. But how does it happen? Does it happen in a destructive way where we're looking at each other, and, looking down at each other, and, we're putting our cousins above the rest of the world in one sense? You know what? You want to marry and sleep with your cousin, but then in the same respect, you're going to dash some of your cousins to the wolves. In fact, majority of them. Because majority of them, you don't even recognize as cousins. You don't even care what happens to them people over there. So therefore, you lot don't care about each other out there in the world. Therefore, you lot are living some demonic lifestyle. We got to stop this. We've got to put a stop to this today. We need to bring you to God's community where everyone has to show love. You can't be treating people like that. Can't be treating people like animals. You can't be you can't be going around putting your cousin above everyone just because it's your cousin. Your cousin.
No, but you do that.
Wait. Let me finish. If you're going to put your cousin above everyone, your cousin better be up there, because your cousin is the only female you can find that really believes in God and really believes in doing the right thing and doing right by the world, not just by you.
It's just because my cousin is my cousin. That's the only justification I need.
No, that's crazy work. That's crazy work, bro. So you just a cousin lover, and we get it, but then there's nothing good about it.
I do love my cousin, but no, I'm just saying, like.
Well, he could say that you're a cousin effer, but
you do treat your family differently.
Like,
you treat your family differently than you treat random strangers.
So if your family are bad people and all of the random strangers are good people, then I can understand that. Maybe you need to treat the good people better, right?
Wait. So if your family are bad people?
Yeah, I have to tie off of that one. What was that one about? Yeah.
No, look, I mean, it is what it is. If your family gets preferential treatment because they're your family. Like, I will do things for my brother and my sister that I won't do for just some random
information.
Exactly.
I mean, most of my family I don't talk to. Real talk.
Exactly. But that's the nature. Listen, don't you understand? That's the nature of the beast.
Family is chosen,
Bro, that is the nature of the beast. Your family were chosen for what every other family was chosen for. It ain't no different. The problem is we have to be able to understand our environment and what's really going on in it. So, for instance, if my family member is a detriment to the environment, I got to put the environment first. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
What we doing?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not just blood. Like family is who's there for you. Period.
There you go.
It has no matter where they came from, what their skin color is, what their religion is, what the none of that shit. No,
I'm glad what you just you see what you just said, yeah. So basically, yeah, that's the kind of family that I'm part
That's
of.
why I said respect.
If you come and sit with my teacher, you come and sit in with my teacher, and you sit with the prophet, the Lord in the flesh, and you see my peoples. Like there is no such thing as skin color. We don't care about all of that. We care about what's in your heart. We care about good people.
Good man, exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel.
We don't care about all that stuff, bro. All that stuff means
Shit,
nothing.
man.
All that kind of stuff.
Stuff like that, man. Like,
come on, man. If I find a good woman, yeah, and she's not from where I'm from, she's not a cousin, she's not Jamaican, then she's still a good woman. I'm gonna accept that good woman into my life and allow God to do good works in my life because I'm trying to do good works too. Yeah, because if I don't do my good works, then what's going to happen is I'm going to get to the other side and they're going to be like, well, where's your works? What did you do? Oh, I did nothing. I'm going to look stupid. So I'm not trying to play that game. I'm trying to say, all right, let me give myself some grounding. Let me give myself something substantial to say, well, when I reach the other side, you know what? Even if I didn't get it right, I made an effort. I tried. What did you try? I did this. I did that. I showed, that I was capable of this. Do you feel where I'm coming from? And I feel that that's where a lot of people ain't at. A lot of people ain't at that point in their life because they're never going to get there. The reason you're never going to get there is because your main focus was family, accumulating wealth. They worship the God of many. They don't worship the God of,
Yeah, that's why Jesus said, if they left eye offend thee, pluck it out.
That's the problem, bro. And this is why people are so obsessed with
people
this
won't do
nonsense.
it because they're attached to disease. They love that which destroys them.
Exactly.
In the Gnostic text, it talks about that. It says you become obsessed with that which destroys you.
Exactly.
And that's the nature of sin. Now, this is like taken out of the Bible and all that, but like in the Gnostic text, it gets real deep in this.
Bro, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro.
If you don't know yourself, then you are in poverty.
No, but this is the problem, bro. The problem is they're all liars, the whole world. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter which scripture I go to. We could go to any scripture, just like my teacher shown me. Don't matter what scripture we go to. They're all going to be proven to be liars, first and foremost. And secondly, we're going to realize that no real scripture can disagree with any other real scripture. If it's really scripture, if that's really the word of God, then when you start reading it, even if you thought it was something different, you're going to realize it's the same.
Well, I'm not religious in a traditional sense. I believe that real divinity, real insight, real revelation comes from within ultimately. I believe that we're all children of God. I believe that God is unexplainable. I don't believe any one book has the ultimate authority on that.
Do you know the problem with that, though, bro? Do you know the problem with that belief? I'm going to tell you this is the problem. And I used to have the same problem with my belief. Belief without works is nothing. It don't exist. So at this point, what we got to do the work. And in order to do the work, we got to be able to compound the belief into some type of knowledge, into some type of understanding where we start to know something. And if we know something, what we know is this. We know that the Most High doesn't work the way we want him to work. He don't work by our dreams or by our theories. What he does is what he's always done.
Period. That's the way I see it.
That's what, listen, it don't matter which faith I go to, and what I'm going to demonstrate now. Don't matter which faith I go to, what the Most High does in every single faith, sends messengers, don't matter which one I go to. Yeah. So if I go to even one that they might not call a faith, they might say that, for instance, Buddhism, that's not really a religion. Yeah. But guess what?
No, that's what I'm saying.
There's still a guy with a message, right?
Right.
Do you get it? Now, what I'm trying to show you is this. What I'm trying to show you is this, brother. Yeah, if you don't know the guy with the message, you don't know anything. You've got to know the guy with the message first. And that goes for all scripture, all religions. They can't get away from it. Because if I go to the Muslims, for example, they're going to say, well, I need to know Muhammad. Now, this is the problem. They don't know Muhammad. They never met Muhammad in their life. They know what people told them about Muhammad. Right. If I go to the Jesus followers, they got the same problem, right? They say they know Jesus. They say they know these people. If I go to the Moses followers, we had one earlier. Now, I wish you were still here now, because then I could ask them the question, if we go to you, the Moses follower, are you following Moses? Is Moses here today? Can you bring Moses? Can Moses come and talk to us?
Exactly.
It's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I don't believe in any of that, so you can't call me a hypocrite, but that's
Yeah, but why
you know
would you?
what?
Why would
No,
you?
I
believe
think
in it?
God can show itself to you. If you reach out for God, God will reach out for you. And it's beyond any one tradition, any one book, any one religion, anyone like God. You know, Jesus says,
that's my problem with it.
my temple is not made by the hands of man. For that, you know, for that'll crumble. You know, the eternal word is etched in the heart of man. Like there's constantly.
No, bro. This is the problem. Man. This is the problem, and this is why I kind of agree with what that guy said. And that's why I said he said he don't believe in none of that. I said, why would you? Because it wouldn't make sense at this point. If you listen to the mumbo jumbo that's out there, when people start talking about spiritual stuff, yeah, especially, it will get crazy. It will get so crazy. I'll sit here with popcorn and stuff. I'll just let you not have that to yourself because it's going to be like a flipping circus out there, unfortunately. Now, at that point, I have to kind of say, like I said to that gentleman, like, why would someone be agreeable to something like that? Unless you saw truth in something, yeah? And that's what I'm saying to you now, Jack. Unless you saw truth in something, you wouldn't start believing anything. That don't make sense. So clearly, whoever you've seen so far, you ain't seen no truth. No one ain't been able to show you no truth. All they've been able to do is show you a lot of confusion or lies or something that was conflicting, which don't make no sense. So stop going to them teachers, man. Come and sit with the real Lord in the flesh. Come and sit with the prophets. Don't sit with them teachers out there that call themselves teachers, but they ain't prophets. Because anyone who knows what a teacher is, it's like anyone who knows me. Like I had a debate with a Muslim one time. We were talking about Muhammad. I said, well, what makes Muhammad a prophet? Can you break down his deification to me? Because, you know, a prophet is a deified man. What deifies this man? You know, you got prophets performing miracles and doing all sorts of things, splitting oceans, come on, man, or rivers, whatever you want to call it. So at that point, you know, he demonstrated something, yeah? And he said that, well, Muhammad was a teacher. And I said, well, let me inquire about this. Let me inquire if that qualifies him. And when I looked into it deeply, it was like, yeah, that actually qualifies him. He only has to be able to teach the word of God to be a prophet. But unfortunately, yeah, you got people running around right now calling themselves teachers.
But okay, let's say that here, I'll give you a thought experiment. Let's say that I grew up, right? And every time you saw something red, I saw something blue. Okay, so
that would mean you're colorblind.
Let's say, no, I'm not colorblind because I'm seeing a color. I'm just not seeing the color you're seeing.
No, that's literally what colorblind doesn't mean you see black and white. Colorblind. I have a cousin that's colorblind. It just means you see the colors differently. I don't know if you knew that or not. But hold on.
Really?
I don't know if you knew that or not. But that's what colorblind is.
I'm going to look that up right now.
Video games have a colorblind mode.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
So just because, oh my God, I just forgot what I was going to say. What were you just talking about?
Yeah, it's
colorblind.
Colorblindness.
We're talking about colorblind shit.
Just because two people can see the same thing doesn't mean it's going to be perceived the same way.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah, so how do you prove that I'm not seeing?
99% of the human race sees the same thing, and then 1% is what
how do
would
you
call
prove that
colorblind.
statement, though? How do you prove that statement?
Because they can identify them the same way.
How?
What do you mean how? How can you disprove it?
Because again, if let's say I'm born, right? And I'm born seeing, whenever you see something that is red, I see it as blue, right?
That means
and then
you're
I'm
colorblind.
taught, I'm not done yet. And then I'm taught, right? I'm taught that when I see a fire truck, everybody calls that red, right?
Okay.
And so every time you guys see something red, I see something blue,
right?
But I'm taught to call that red. And how would I ever know that what you call red is my blue? Do you see what I'm saying?
Because you just said it yourself. Because the world just taught you that what you see as blue is actually red.
No, they taught me red. Like red isn't something that you can. It's not like a quantitative property. You can't measure it. You can't tell me how much it weighs, right?
Well,
so how do you know?
This is what I want to do, if you'll allow me. If you'll allow me a couple of seconds. So if you will show 99% of the human population something that is what I would call red, we will all be able to identify it forever. And we'll see it again and we'll be able to say that's red. Then you have your 1% of people that are colorblind. They will be different. So that's all I can say to you right now. I don't know what else to say. So 99% of the population is seeing one thing. You're seeing another thing.
No, I understand the claim, which is a claim you
It's
keep
not a
making
claim,
over and over.
it's a fact.
Okay, where is the substantiation of the fact?
Because most people aren't colorblind.
How do you know what they see internally?
I don't understand the question. Most people aren't colorblind. So you can test for colorblind. Did you know that?
Yeah, so how do you do that?
You test it against what 99% of the population sees, and if you see something versus something other than what the 99% sees, then you're colorblind.
Yes, but I'm not talking about that kind of color blindness. So you're talking about something that's variant. So in other words, it may not be every time they see one color, everybody else sees another color, right? That's not color blindness. Okay. That is, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. There's variance. So they're able to say,
You know
hey,
you can still join the military if you're that kind of colorblind.
yeah, that's nice. So
don't
the point I'm making is if it's irrelevant to my point, okay? Because the point that I'm making is if every time you see red, I see blue, and I'm taught from a very young age to call that red, which I see as blue, and everything, every object that you ever see as red, I see as blue, there would be no way that I would even know that you're seeing anything different or that you would know that I would be seeing anything different.
All right.
Because
So
we're
you're
just
getting unnecessarily philosophical. So here's where I want to boil it down to. If they put me and you in a room together and they show us both the same thing, and I say it's red and you say it's blue, and then they do that 100,000 more times and everybody else says it's red and you're the only one that ever said it was blue, you're colorblind.
But yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. So you're just changing the scenario. So you're not actually dealing with the problem.
I'm trying to change it to something that I understand.
Well, I'm sorry that you don't understand it, but you said unnecessary philosophical. That's just
so anything
reference on your
about
point.
so you know what percentage of the world is colorblind?
I'm not talking about that kind of colorblind, dude. So that's not helpful.
But any kind of colorblind. It's less than 1%. So this
Okay, but that's
conversation
irrelevant
is
to
completely
my
just-
thought experiment. I don't even know.
Go ahead and do your thought experiment, but I'm just telling you that it's completely academic. It doesn't matter at all. But you can do your thought experiment. I'll listen to you.
Well, anyways, I already did my thought experiment and you didn't listen, I guess.
I
'cause you
guess
don't get
not.
it. But, and I don't mean that in like some sort of snarky way either. I'm just being descriptive. Okay.
All right.
But anyways, okay, so that was my point. My point is that there are some things that are unfalsifiable, epistemically speaking, right? Like, for example, there's something called the problem of other minds in philosophy of mind, right?
Right.
So you cannot know that anybody else is conscious with absolute certainty because you cannot experience anybody else's experience except for your own. You cannot have
the collective, subjective universe and the objective reality. Is that what you're talking about?
No doubt, buddy. No doubt.
More or less.
No, it's just saying, like, are you familiar with the philosophical zombie problem?
I'm not sure, but I mean, there's like different derivations of the same idea. So that's why I said, like, you have like the idea of like you have a collective universe, right? That everyone experiences because they basically agreed upon it. And then you have like an internal world that only you're sure of. And so,
Yeah, well, anyways, I think we got way off on topic. Anyways, this is off the topic of morality, but we went off on a way different rabbit trail. So let's bring it back to oughtness.
well, I just want to know if that's what you meant. Like,
Where do you want to bring it back to?
Well, wait. Let me jump in here. You said to oughtness. Would you say that there is an actual distinction between is and ought?
Of course.
Yeah, but I mean, every time you make a statement, you're implying that someone ought believe you, right? Or ought believe the substance of what you're saying, right?
How this is all semantic.
That would be based on an if clause.
Do we want to go outer space right now?
It would be implying an if
What
clause.
How
So, since I have this information that's credible, right, in this particular situation, let's say I have evidence, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to have as many true beliefs as possible and as few false beliefs as possible, then you ought to at least listen to what I have to say and entertain my evidence. So that's based on an if clause.
those are axioms.
Well. I mean,
No,
I don't know
they're
about that. I mean, wait. So can you repeat that again? So you're saying what's the if clause exactly? Like, I'm trying to say that like the very act of communication implies that you ought engage in the material being discussed as if it's some level of veracity.
If
right?
you want to engage in conversation for whatever reason, right, then you ought to listen to whatever's being discussed, right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying there's not really an is ought because
that's an if clause though.
All is ought.
That isn't is ought.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's what I'm saying is all presuppositions embedded in any statement automatically imply an is and ought gap doesn't really exist. Right?
No, I just showed you that it does.
Repeat how it does. I've never heard this
because it's
before.
always based. It's always derived from an if clause, not from an is.
As if.
What do you mean though? What does that
so
mean?
So like a goal, a preference, a goal.
You're right, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm saying like the very act of communication is in and of itself confirming the if, right? Like you opening your mouth and speaking confirms the if, right?
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that the is ought distinction doesn't really exist. Like a lot of people, like for example,
it does exist. No, you don't. Then you don't understand what the is ought distinction means.
Effectively, no, because let me give you an example. Like if I argue with somebody about politics, right, and whatever they say, I can reasonably assume that they want to be taken seriously, right? So if they're like, well, I just want to talk about what is, not what should be. It's like, well, you saying that implies that I ought to believe you. So there's already an embedded expectation that we're somewhat honest. Like you can't come and say, well, I just want to lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm
but
lying
the is
to you,
ought,
right? Like
hold on. The
right?
is ought gap, right, is that you cannot derive an ought from a description of what is. You're not deriving an ought from a description of what is. You're deriving an ought from an
not
if
necessarily, because you have to assume that what's being discussed is what it says it is, and you ought believe it is what like for example, like if I say, like, I'll give you an example. I went on a panel last night and I said, somebody saw my profile and it said pro America, and they're like, what the hell does that mean? They're like, well, technically America is not a country, blah blah. So they started going into semantics, right? And I was like, clearly you understand what I mean, like the geographical region of the United States of America, right? And so my point is that, you know, if someone's asking you a question or engaging with you, they can try to be dishonest, but nobody can come to you and say, well, everything I say is a lie, right? Because it's a self-detonating statement, right? So it automatically just cancels out and means nothing. It becomes a nonsensical interaction at that point, right? Does that make sense? Or
they could,
right? So
they could choose to be they could choose to be irrational, though.
Right, but that's different than saying that, you know, anybody that you reasonably can believe is honestly communicating, and they make a statement, the sky is blue. It's like, well, I ought believe that the sky is blue. So there's not really a distinction between the sky is blue and you ought to believe that the sky is blue, right? Like it's embedded in the statement itself, right? Like unless we just it's an unreliable narrator or something.
So
right.
so if clauses are implied a lot of the time, right? Because they're goals, so they're implied. They're not necessarily asserted in the. For example, I could say shut the door, right? Now, shut the door by itself is not true. It's not a proposition. However, if I'm assuming an if clause, like you ought shut the door because we both have the goal of not letting the heat out and paying more in electricity than is necessary, right? That's what makes the ought true, right? And that is not deriving an ought from an is, it's deriving it from a goal.
Yeah, I'm going to look up something just because I haven't argued this point in a long time, and I'm really happy that somebody is actually interested in arguing. Because I think this is fundamental. Because I think it's fundamental to morality, right? Like the only reason I'm bringing this up is like I think this question in particular is fundamental to like having some sort of coherent moral system.
There is no moral system.
Well, or at least ethical at the very least. Like, I guess ethics.
Let me rephrase that.
Ethics at the very least. Moral is debatable.
Exist, right, but they only exist from what you yourself derive. Now, I don't believe in the sense of like in moral relativism as being like assigned to like, the world, like politically or something. I think that's a terrible idea. But I do believe that when it comes to the individual, that it has to actually be ascertained personally. I think anything else is basically control or self-deception. Like
so
it's not true.
For a really good source on this, I want to recommend Dr. Peter Shertet H's book, Neo-Nihilism, The Philosophy of Power. He goes into the is-ought problem a whole bunch, extensively. And he also has a paper on this too, the Teutonic Shift in Morality. And he teaches at Exeter, by the way. Really knowledgeable philosopher. His website is www.philosopher.eu. And yeah, check out some of his writings. But he's done extensive work on this. There's a lot of other people that have, a lot of other philosophers, Simon Blackburn. Who else am I thinking of?
Have you ever looked at Stefan Molyneux?
Yeah, I debated him.
Really interesting. What did you think about his UPB and stuff like that?
I refuted it.
Okay, why is that?
Well, I could pull out the.
You have a link for that? I would
paper. I could pull out the paper on that. Yeah, it's his channel got taken down, unfortunately. So the only way I can find is BitChute.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but I think it still exists on BitChute.
I would love that.
It's probably somewhere on his website too. He's got everything backed up somehow. I haven't been there for a while, so I'm not sure.
Yeah,
so find it,
so he admits that they're based on conditionals in his book and also in our debate, which you can go watch. But in any case, the other problem with his is that he assumes moral ownership exists. He assumes the principle of self-ownership. And he says, in fact, in his book that if it doesn't exist, then I cannot breathe, right? And if it doesn't exist, then my whole thing falls apart. And I show how it does, how he's assuming, right? He's assuming this kind of oughtness that he's not even argued for. And
well, I think he says it's like I think he basically, and again, like I'm not here to like totally defend him. I'll read these 4 points as well, just because I looked them up. But I think he's kind of arguing that like in order to have any reasonable communication, you have to.
Well, I can steel man his argument if you want.
Well, yeah, and let me get these 4 points out. So I guess I'll take the positive position and you can tear it apart. So like his positive position is this, I guess it would be something to the effect of like the act of communication assumes self-ownership to some degree. And then here's his 4 points. He says, if you open your mouth and speak and communicate, truth telling is better than lying. Reason is better than force. Consistency is better than contradiction. And these rules apply equally to both of us. So what would you say to those arguments?
So he conceded that you could argue in bad faith and you could just be doing sophistry, for example. And that you could also just being like, you could be arguing for just to try to win a semantic game, right? But also that is still based on the if clause, that if I want to debate, right?
Well, but even if that's the case,
if I value truth, hold on, let me finish. If I value truth, right, then I will open my mouth and debate, right, in a sincere manner. So that is still based on an if clause. He admitted this. Like, this is not.
Right. I get you, but what I'm saying is that, and I'm not trying to be annoying to interrupt you. I just don't want to lose track of my thought. So because I learned from him, so he was kind of like some of this stuff. So basically and I'm not saying I have to like fully buy into it, but I do find it like a use. It's kind of like communism. Like, I'm not communist, but I use the framework to analyze certain things, right? So in this case, I would say like, okay. So, see, I lost the thought now. So it's like you said, what was your brief response? You said, people can argue semantics just for the sake of it. It's like, well, you never really truly can know someone's intention, and maybe other people don't fully comprehend their own intention. For example, like I come on TikTok and argue with people semantics. My friend here has seen it, right? Now, it looks as if I'm just being an absurdist or being pedantic or just trying to annoy the person or whatever by asking them a series of like Socratic questions, right? But what I'm really trying to do is see their underlying motive that probably they're not even aware of, right? And the reason I'm doing that is for the sake of the audience, that they can evaluate what is the intent of the person making the argument.
Yeah.
Which is just as important as the argument itself, if that makes sense.
So it's very important to understand Hume's theory of motivation to get a better understanding of the is-ought problem, right? So imagine you're in a burning building, okay? So you're in a burning building and you correctly apprehend that there's smoke coming down the stairs, right? And that the beams are on fire, right? And you correctly apprehend that if you don't leave at some point, that you will, be crushed probably in falling debris or whatever, right? Or be unalived by smoke inhalation, right? So these are all facts and their knowledge. But what Hume argues is there is no oughtness unless you have some sort of goal, like I want to live. I don't want to experience smoke inhalation. I want to see my kids go up to college, grow up to college. I want to see whatever it is, right? I want to experience more times of eating chocolate. I mean, I don't know what, what I mean? There's all kinds of motivations people have, but there is no motivation. There is no, with simply just facts. You have to have an if clause. You have to have a goal, a desire for there to be motivation, which is emotivation, right? It is literally motivating. That's what it means.
But so would you agree with like people like mimetic desire, Rene Girard, and people like that, as far as their evaluation of this kind of stuff? Like, for example, like I don't think that someone has personhood without desire, right? Does that make sense?
Of course
like,
not. Yeah. A person is made. A person is a collection of mental relational properties, and desire is one of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the biggest tricks of history that they try to divorce a human being of desire. Now, again, it doesn't mean that we should be right. Well, it doesn't mean that we should be a slave to desire, but what it means is to deny that desire is not a fundamental.
Originally, it wasn't about letting go of desire completely. It was about letting go of false desire and realizing that you're attached to something that doesn't really exist.
Well, I even think Christianity was kind of like that too, and it kind of got twisted somewhere down the line.
It wasn't Christianity. Christianity was bankrupt from the beginning. But
I disagree. I mean, I think Jesus and Paul definitely were trying to convey some sort of.
What Jesus was actually teaching was more like a mystery school than what Christianity became. As soon as you call it Christianity, it loses its feet. Okay, that's just my opinion, Jack. You know how I feel about this, okay? I don't have any problem with Jesus, all right? Like, I actually believe he existed, even as a Luciferian. Like, I actually believe he existed. And I think that he tried to enlighten people to their own divinity. I think he was more like fucking Lucifer.
He's a Luciferian? That's it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, man, I am.
Where's that button? Where is that button?
What?
Better be glad I'm a Gen Xer and I can't find the button.
Well, I knew my friend here would like this panel because you have a guy with Irish and like the Levian cross or whatever that is, and then the prompts here, and I was like, I gotta send this guy.
Well, it's a little more
That's not a
complicated
Levian
than
cross, by the way. But
or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Say fucking
Sorry.
That is a
Sorry.
redundancy. That is a redundancy.
Hey, I'm
No,
actually
it-
a lot more complicated than
I'm just
that.
letting you know. So,
What is it? A sulfur thing or something? I don't know what exactly.
no, I came up with that. It's a kind of like my own rendition of like a sigil of Baphomet.
Right.
I do, like, since I write books, right? I do a lot of the graphic design for the covers. So that was just one thing I was messing around with. So I made that.
No, I'm actually not like a traditional Luciferian. I actually I'm more like an animist, and I like take it back to like the pagan gods because most demons are pagan gods, and so I kind of approach it that way. I'm not like a reverse Christian, you know, where I'm like trying to like go to war with God or whatever or some dumb shit, So I actually have more like a shamanic background, if anything. So I actually don't really see like light and dark as battling each other. I see them as really one whole. So I don't really like subscribe to any of that duality or anything like that. I see like all these spirits as like forces of nature, essentially. But yeah, just
So I wanted to say this really briefly before I forgot.
I wanted to ask you something real quick.
But I definitely like identify with the adversary, whether it's Mithras or Prometheus or whatever, like Enki, any like.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to ask you, again, he talked about self-ownership, right? So you couldn't move your mouth unless you owned yourself, right?
Right.
You're talking about Stefan, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about Stefan, right? Okay. So is he using ownership in a prescriptive sense or a descriptive sense? Is he saying that ownership is the fact of the ability to control yourself, right? To make bodily movements? Or is he saying that you ought to be able to do these things and nobody ought to be able to interfere with those things?
Well, I looked it up. I did use, Grok to like double check some of my memory on this too, just to. So I'm admitting to cheating a little bit, but so
Grok's not entirely reliable, by the way.
Yeah, of course, but it's just a shorthand. It's just a shorthand so I can refresh my memory. But so I asked and it said he basically accepts Hume's thing, but he never directly mentions passions, slave of passions, moral motivation. But what he did do was say, and so his quote is that he said, the act of using reason to argue already is a motivational ought. So I don't know if that's answering your question or not. Like I would say, in his opinion, he's doing both simultaneously.
Well, no, the act of, okay, so the act of using reason, right, is simply, it's the cause of that is, right, the if clause. The act of reasoning itself is an is, right? But the motivation for doing it, right, is connected to ought, right? Because you can't have oughtness without motivation. Like it just wouldn't work, right? You would just have a collection of facts.
Well, I guess the idea is like if I even open my mouth and say the sky is blue, well, I must have some motive. Maybe I'm trying to pick up a girl and I don't know what to say. I say, "Hey, the sky is blue," and hopefully she'll respond, right? Or maybe I have a mental defect and I just say that randomly because I can't have Tourette's, but it's like nice or something, right? I'm just throwing out random examples to like say like I don't know where the edges of the argument would go, but I'm just trying to like think of like the edges
so at
of like
best,
where would it,
What I showed in my argument is at best, right? Like at worst, first off, he's begging the question, he's committing is-ought fallacies. But at best, if I take him as being descriptive in some ways, right? Because he does equivocate. He gives two different definitions of UPB in the same book. two different ones, right? He was pointed out on this by Rationality Rules. Me and Rationality Rules both had a run-in with him, which is how I ended up debating him in the first place. And actually, if you go to Rationality Rules channel, you can find clips from my debate because he responds to that debate, right?
Okay.
Because he was misrepresenting Rationality Rules' arguments. Okay. But the point that I'm making is, at best, he has a system of hypothetical imperatives, which isn't morality at all. It's just pulling a Sam Harris, where you're just redefining moral oughts as strategic oughts. And the problem with that is it's not morally satisfying, because all hypothetical imperatives mean at the end of the day is that you ought do what you want to do. Okay, great. Do as thou wilt. I mean, that's not morality.
Well, to be honest with you, I kind of think he is a secret Luciferian, to be honest with you. Like, I don't have any evidence of that, but I do kind of think that that's kind of part of his motive, whether he's aware of it or not. But like, here's two quotes I found. And I don't know if this is really like helping, but he says on self-ownership, he says the brain owns the body. What that means is it directly controls the body. And then he says,
okay.
Did you use YouTube, bro? Your voice sounds really familiar.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let him finish, please. I want to hear the rest.
Yeah, I'll be really brief. Ownership. So the second quote is, ownership in general is a normative concept and an ethical proposition. The right of exclusive control, an ought claim, not a fact. So I'll read that again because that's a little confusing to me. Ownership in general is a normative concept and an ethical proposition.
Yeah, but the first part, he gives a description of ownership, which is a descriptive definition of ownership. And then the second part is a prescriptive definition of ownership, right? Or is he...
Right. Well, and then here's the third quote where he tries to bring it together. He said, ownership must first and foremost consist of control over one's own body. He owns the actions of his body as surely as he owns his body. Meaning, like, if I go and produce a birdhouse, I own both my body and the birdhouse that I produce with my body, for example, right? I think he uses stuff like that.
Okay, but what do you mean by own, though, in that context? Does it just mean that you physically put it together?
Well, meaning because I think what he means is like I'm basically responsible for that creation. Meaning, like, if somebody says it's illegal to build this birdhouse, who's to blame, right? If this person's to blame because he's done it. And as an absurd example, I think you get what I'm saying, right? So,
yeah. But there's
it's ownership.
So this is where it gets kind of hairy, because just as there is a moral prescriptive definition of ownership, right? There's also a moral prescriptive definition of responsibility, which is where this gets really ambiguous, right? Because you can also use it in a descriptive sense, right? Like, well, first off, blame, right? Blame is
right.
That can be ambiguous too. But
yeah, and I think
if at all he's the problem is like I could grant him, right? Hume could grant him that, look, you have control, your brain controls your body, right? He could grant them that fact, right? But you can't deduce any oughts from that. And I can even grant you the fact that you built the birdhouse, but you still can't, from that fact alone, you cannot derive an ought.
Well, the next quote, it says, exclusive self-ownership is a basic reality that all human beings have exclusive ownership over their bodies and thus effects and external property, meaning like they own the bodies first, they own the effects of what they do with that body, and then they have external property that basically comes back. I mean, to be honest with you, I think what he's smuggling in here, and I say this honestly, because like I have my own issues with it, but I don't like to admit that in most debates, because I like to save that for I like to say that as like the hammer to hit people with, because I think what he's sneaking in is like might makes right. To be honest with you, I think he's sneaking in like a very, very much like I think proprietarianism, which is kind of what he's saying, like Hoppe and these guys, like they're basically saying, well, might makes right, but we don't want to say that openly. So like this is kind of like our mental gymnastics in order to like smuggle that in of like kind of like do what thou will, but in a more like extreme overt way, I would say. Although it's like it seems like flowery language, but that's my personal.
I believe in might is right, but I don't know that we're defining it the same way.
Yeah, like
right?
that's how I'm thinking of it too. Because it's like I think might is
That's
right,
one of the
but
prompts.
it's not like
Look at what
like it's not in a moral sense. I don't.
prompt number 6, right? So might is right in the sense that might is instrumental good towards enforcing prescriptions, whatever they might be, right? It's not moving from an is to an ought. It's just saying that
it's saying if I can do it and I do it, you know, and I can get away with it, then it's moral essentially. I mean, or ethical at the very least.
No, it's not saying anything about morality.
Because,
it's just saying it's like gravity. So it's like, here's one way that I put it, right? Without force, prescriptions are impotent suggestions.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. I mean, again, like, I'll
I
be
think
honest
that's
with you guys,
all
like,
really that means.
like
if you want
like I consider
Yeah, go
myself
ahead.
a Christian, but I do think that like Christianity needs to accept that you know, we still live within like a world that we can't pretend that it's like heaven or something, right? You see what I'm saying? So like so
no, I get
and
you're
you
a
know,
realist. You got to be realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I don't think that discounts Christianity in any way, right? It's just a recognition of the fact that, like, okay, you know, we can't
total ponage. It's a total ponage.
I mean, yeah, like, I mean, I'm a Christian. I don't even like the way I
I'm to
think
the
of
dark
this,
side,
like,
Jack. You got you got 1 foot in, man.
Rights are literally just force, and like I think of a moral as
I agree.
a duty.
I mean, I think you're a
not
pretty base
not
Christian,
a right.
I think you're pretty. I mean, we talk about Luciferian philosophy, so I mean, pretty cool.
No, but I give.
Well,
this
anyways,
guy-
it sounds like to me he's doing probably the same thing he does in other areas, which he equivocates between the descriptive and prescriptive. Because I mean, I'm not the only one who's noticed that when he describes, he gives 2 different descriptions of UPB. One in which he just defines it as hypothetical imperatives, and another where he actually commits an is-ought fallacy, which again was pointed out by Rationality Rules in his, I think he did like 2 videos on him. And in any case, I actually went on there to have a debate with him, and he only gave me, like, I'd read his book years before that debate, but I was really rusty on it, so I didn't do as well as I would like. But after the debate, I went and I reread it, and I found a bunch of problems. And I've written a whole it's going in my next book. The very last thing I critique is universally preferable behavior, and I think I do a pretty thorough job of it.
Yeah,
and
I would
use
love to
quotes
see
from
it.
his book.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see it because I would. Well, I'll tell you, like for me, again, I'm a Christian, so like I don't believe in. Oh my God, dude! Just
secular ethics, anyways.
Yeah. So I don't believe in secular ethics, but what I do like it as is like, again, like kind of like a communist analysis tool where I can say like, okay, let me evaluate the state of liberalism. Like I like your first quote, by the way, like leftism and Christian ethics are slave morality. Like I agree. I think that like leftism/liberalism is essentially like a psyop of like extreme fascist control from Plato's Republic, but it's done under the guise of like, well, we just want to be nice to everybody. But in reality, it's like, I'll hit you in the head with a hammer if you disagree with me, right?
By the Republican.
Yeah, well, I'm like, you understand that quote is very Nietzschean. So I'm just arguing from it's not even an argument. It's just a Nietzschean definition by Nietzsche's definition in Beyond Good and Evil, section 258 through 259. And in his book on the genealogy of morals, leftism and Christianity are inversions of aristocratic morality, of Pax Romana. Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah, well, I think
it's
Nietzsche
not a
was
derogatory
right
thing. It's just a fact. Right?
Yeah, well, I think Nietzsche was right about a lot of things for sure. So I think Nietzsche was more right than wrong for sure. Even as a Christian, like I think he was more right than wrong
If
about
you want ethics,
most of
Jack,
what he said.
Marcus Aurelius, for real.
I did a whole
yeah.
I did a whole chapter on Nietzsche's Will to Power, which talked a little bit about slave versus master morality and stuff like that.
So important for people to understand.
And that's called The World as Will to Power and Representation, which is obviously taking off from Schopenhauer's The World as Will and Idea, right? But because I do think, so does Professor Hughes, that Nietzsche was a German idealist. He was putting forth his own atheistic idealism.
Right. Well, I think,
towards the end of his life.
Well, what I think, my personal, like, and this is kind of, and I'll give you kind of like what I'm trying to get at a little bit. So like, because it's a dual layer thing. Like me personally, I say that Nietzsche was at the base of it all, a devout Christian struggling with the absolute unfettered corruption of Christianity that he had seen throughout all of history, right? Like, and he's just like so upset with it, where he's like, "Look, if we can't salvage it, let's burn it." You know. Well, what I mean is that. But the reason I would say that is like
Nietzsche was spiritual. That's sure.
But Nietzsche hated,
he was a Christian.
for example, the Beatitudes of Jesus' teachings. Like he was, he was not a Christian. He was very. I would say he admired some things.
Yes,
but he also hated a lot of things. It's like
that's like saying
Nietzsche was complicated, like right? Like
Crowley was a Christian.
Nietzsche railed against nihilism, and yet he was a nihilist. Okay, because he used nihilism in so many different ways.
Well, I think he was a healthy nihilist. I would say he had a healthy relationship.
Yeah, he was an active nihilist. Yeah, right. But what I mean by that is like I remember Pete told me, my friend Pete, he told me that once when he was going for his master's, that he was made to look at every single place in which every single context in which Nietzsche used the word nihilism. And it was extremely tedious. But what he found out is that Nietzsche was a nihilist, but he was railing against passive nihilism. And he felt that Christianity leads to passive nihilism.
Oh, for sure.
And so, that's
I agree with
Schopenhauer as well.
Yeah, and I agree, and I agree that like in most forms of Christianity, it did definitely lead to
denying,
that, for sure. Yeah,
flesh denying, it's life denying, and then they scream at the Gnostics for the same thing, and they're more Gnostic than the Gnostics.
And so what I'm kind of getting at, and so here's the point I was trying to get at with this, whereas whether it's true or not, what I'm saying is what I'm trying to evoke in people that I say that to, not you guys, but in general, when I say that in debates or conversations, I'm trying to get Christians in particular to look at their own history and say, like, why is it that most of Christianity has turned into passive nihilism, right? And so then it kind of forces them to like examine themselves. And I think similarly with what I see with Molyneux, I think he's kind of doing a Discordian thing of like, messing with people's heads and laying a trap where like when you argue against them, you have to examine your own beliefs to a higher degree or something like that. So sorry to go.
Yeah. So he makes one of the kind of transcendental arguments that Molyneux makes is, look, you can't prescribe, theft, right? As universal, right? Because you would have it's like saying I want to be stolen from, right?
Yeah, it's a performative contradiction
if you want, like, we agree on that. There are some things that we agreed on, right? Like there was some overlap there. What I disagreed with was where he said he slayed the beast of nihilism. He didn't. He just didn't say anything. Like at best, he didn't say anything that contradicts moral anti-realism at all. He just gave a system of hypothetical imperatives. And at worst, he committed a bunch of fallacies. So, I mean, I can tell as somebody who studied like metaethics for like 20 years in reading his book that he did not do his due diligence. And that was really disappointing.
But would you say that it's possible? And again, like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Robert Anton Wilson or Discordianism. Do you think it's possible that some of these philosophers might, like, kind of like in a way that Plato wrote or something, where you write you know, like if you read, like I haven't read a lot of Plato, but when I read him or I read Nietzsche, it's almost like they're laying so many traps where like if you try to wiggle in and argue against what, and I think honestly Jesus and Paul did the same thing. Like a lot of people hate Paul, but like I think it's like trying to dissect the Tao Te Ching, right? Like you can try to disagree with the Tao Te Ching all day long, but really ultimately you're just going to end up agreeing with it at the end of that struggle, if that makes any sense, right? That's kind of the way I see some of this
there's
stuff.
like,
to an extent,
I wouldn't say that. I mean, like I disagree with the ethics and, you know, like the Tao Te Ching does this thing that a lot of Eastern philosophies do, unfortunately, where they actually do run into an Aesop problem.
Well, I know what you're talking about.
The Tao Te Ching will be like, yes, the Tao behaves this way. And then it jumps to,
But it doesn't.
So the sage
Paradox.
should behave this way,
Paradox.
right? And they do it in such a slithery way. It's not so obvious, right? But if you read it like 100 million times, like I have,
but
however, hold on. Hey guys, shh. Okay, just let me finish. All right. What I do agree with, though, is I think some of the ontology or interpretations of the Tao, which I have incorporated in my own ontology, I think I call it like the dark Tao or something like this, right? But I think some of the metaphysics are pretty salvageable, right? Pretty useful. I just find that the slave morality of a lot of these Eastern religions to be just not my thing, right? But I find some things in Advaita and Trika Shaivism, I all find useful in all of their ontology, but their metaphysics that they try, not their metaphysics, their meta ethics, which they haven't even thought about, that they try to derive some sort of morality from the way things are, that always runs into a problem, right? Like you could get to, we're all one part of the great mind, right? Part of the great non-dual reality, right? But from that, you can't derive oughts logically, right? Now, the best you could do is say that if you reach enlightenment, right, then you will act a certain compassionate way or something, right? But that's called descriptive ethics, right? And nihilists don't disagree with descriptive ethics. Of course, you can get, descriptive ways of things happening just from nature, right? A lion, because it's an obligate carnivore, will prefer meat, right? And if you could change the, let's say, the biology to some extent, right, it would make it prefer something else. Then that just would be what it is. It wouldn't be what it ought to be. It would just be what it is and what it will do, right? Which was Ayn Rand's problem. Ayn Rand thought that she had solved. She literally claimed this. She claimed that the gap between is and ought has been solved, because the fact of what a living entity is defines what it ought to do. And the problem with that is that the fact of what a living entity is doesn't give you an ought. It just tells you what it can or will do. That's it. And so she miserably failed on that as well. And she also bases her entire morality on an if clause, which is she starts by saying, my morality, basically, right, objectivism begins with, if you have the goal to live, right? And she calls that a pre-moral choice. So that's an if clause. So if you decide you want to live, then there are things you have to do, right? That's all she's saying. Well, yeah, every moral nihilist agrees with that, and Hume would agree with that, and that has nothing to do with the is-ought problem. So she's not solving the is-ought problem at all. And even where she thought she did, she actually committed a fallacy.
Well, like I'm trying to say this in a nice way, not about you, but I'm saying like if I'm talking to a liberal, right, and they want to argue about morality or ethics, and I basically say like, why don't I just be like Pol Pot, because obviously I can't reason with you, and they're like, well, that would be mean, and it's like, well, what choice do I have? Because there's no ability to reason with you, right? Now, It sounds really mean, but it's kind of like a factual thing. And that's kind of the way I'm saying is like, it almost seems like that's kind of what they're saying in like a very academic way of like, well, if I can't reason with you and you're not going to listen and you don't want to have ethics applied to you because you're just a dishonest or mentally incapable person, I may not choose to enact might makes right, but maybe I ought to have that ability to enact that on you. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Or I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're in an alley and some guy comes after you, right? You're not going to whip out UPB and go, wait a minute, let's argue this out. See, it's immoral for me to do this because you know what I mean?
It's
like,
so funny you say that because that's how I always imagine is like, imagine Stefan Molyneux like talking to like a bunch of like YNs like, excuse me, sir, I don't know if you've heard of me. My name's Stefan Molyneux. I believe in UPB. You know, like,
yeah.
It would just be hilarious.
I majored in lesbian yodeling theory.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me get out Hopper and Hoppa's argumentation and things. Hold on a second here, bro. Yeah, you know what's funny is, who was it? John Locke commits an is-ought fallacy because he argued
I totally
that
believe
property rights. Well, this is the first one he makes. He argued that property rights came from the fact of Adam and Eve mixing labor with the soil in the garden.
I have a question to ask the people in this lobby.
That's getting an ought from an is. So, I mean, that's just silly. But, you know, Hume, I guess he hadn't read Hume Locke I think Locke was he prior? I think he was prior to Hume, wasn't he? Just like barely. Well, anyways, yeah, that's kind of silly. But in any case, yeah, all these little problems come up. And look, secularists do this kind of crap too. They were doing this like 15 years ago. There were secularists doing this on YouTube, arguing from evolutionary biology, evolutionary psychology. They were saying, well, we have evolved the characteristic of empathy, right? And it's like, therefore we ought to be empathetic. Well, no, we've also evolved the characteristic of aggression. We've also evolved the characteristic. Like, it's like saying I can smack the crap out of my right, therefore I ought to. It's the same argument.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's almost like Plantinga or something. Like maybe I could, you know, defend myself logically for why I want to enact violence for my belief. But how about I just do it and don't explain it because I don't need to, because I have the ability to, or something. It's kind of like saying, yes, I could justify it, but I don't feel that I need to because
have you ever
I can
read
do it and get away with it or something, you know?
When you read this book, I told you to read Neo-Nihilism, okay? It's not even expensive, dude. Okay. And you can get it as an audiobook as well. All right. It's really well done. You'll see he points out that moralities are not only false, but they're just power structures. They're ways to gain power. So if you can convince somebody that your set of preferences are binding, then you have control over their behavior. And morality is literally about how people ought and ought not behave, which is literally what control means, right? So morality is power structures. Nietzsche pointed this out, right?
Yeah.
They're power structures. So are religions. Religions are power structures. So it literally is about controlling people, right? And
I mean, they call themselves sheep, dude. Like, really?
He argues it a lot more eloquently than I just did in his book. But, you know, I'm on the fly here, okay? The only problem I have with his book is he doesn't deal with theism. He just assumes atheism, right? So that's why I wrote a response. Like my first book was like a response to his, which provided the same critique he had, but like more expanded on different positions. And then also critiques. I also applied is ought to things like Thomas Aquinas's moral arguments, William Lane Craig's modified divine command theory, classical divine command theory, things like that. What is it? G.E. Moore's non-naturalism, for example. But yeah, I've been doing this a long time, dude. Too long. way too long.
Yeah, I mean, they literally call themselves like, sheep. Like they say that the Lord is their shepherd. Like they understand that they're sheep. You know this, right? They volunteered
Yeah, but from
to
their
be sheep.
value system, that's a good thing.
I know.
Right?
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying
It's saying it says that everybody must serve some master at the end of the day. Like we all serve something, right? I mean, I think that's kind of like we all, anything that just serves itself. I mean, doesn't really like it doesn't really exist because again, desire doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like you can't just.
I guess you haven't read
right?
LaVey's response to that, have you? You should read LaVey's response to that. But it depends on what theory of motivation. Because if you're a psychological egoist, you can actually argue that everything we do is ultimately for ourselves.
Yep. It's self-deception that tells you otherwise. Absolutely.
See, but it depends on what theory of motivation. Like if you're a pluralist, I could see you making that argument. But again, a psychological egoist or a psychological hedonist. No, I'm talking to the dude down here that was.
What do you say about what I said? Like that your main argument was that these people are sheep. And then
I was responding to his response to your response to your what you were saying. Sorry. Yeah, I know it's confusing.
I just don't.
I think he's on a coffee break or something.
So what do you think about Crowley or like the Satanic Temple versus like Michael Aquino? Like where do you fall on the spectrum between all those guys?
Satanic Temple is just it's actually, according to the government, it's a Christian church.
Thank you.
And all they do, no, I'm serious, and they're tax
No, yeah, I'm serious too.
and then if you read their website, right, they literally reject LaVey's values, and they are extreme like leftist slave moralists, and they're all for equality and all this shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They're like,
so like they're just a bunch of atheists who LARP.
Yeah.
And they literally, there's a video on YouTube. I think you can still find it. And actually, if you go to the Church of Satan website, they'll link you to it, where they actually admit that they invented this whole thing just as a stunt to get the 10 Commandments and other things pulled out of public places. So they're not really Satanists in my view, right?
Yeah, they're not.
And then the other thing is, because all they've done is taken leftist morality and slapped the label Satan on there. That's it. And then use it as a legal lawfare tactic, right? To push their version of secularism, which the founders never had any clue about, by the way. As far as Aquino, he's kind of a nutcase. He believed that, Satan came to him in a dream and told him that his real name is Set. He needs to be called Set and all this. And then Xena later became like part of that organization, then left. I would say I'm more closer to LaVey, except that I am a what you call a non-dualist. So I'm not a physicalist. I don't think that. I don't. I believe so. My metaphysics is that everything is mind.
Right.
It's not a personal mind. It's only personal through us, through sentient beings. Yeah.
Yeah, like a pluralist, panpsychist. It's kind of hard to explain. It would have to take a while.
Not panpsychist. That's different. That runs into the combination problem. But it's more like absolute idealism, but closer more like to Vedanta, but stripped down without the reincarnation or the or the karma or any of that kind of stuff.
If you're familiar with like Shakti, well, I'm trying.
I actually invented my own neologism.
Right.
Called pan-entheism.
Oh, I like that. Like panentheism.
It's like panentheism, except take out the god.
Right. And
it's pan-endaemonism. So
I could see that. Yeah.
It's one non-dual demon manifesting as duality.
That makes
It's a Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Satan.
Right.
It's not personal though.
Yeah.
So you don't have the problem of gratuitous suffering.
Have you accepted the Lord Satan into your heart?
No, actually, I accepted Lilith, but
Satan.
Wait, Are you asking Satan if he accepted himself?
Are you
into his heart?
actual? Are you
Plenty of
actual
times.
Satan? Like, are you the actual Satan? Because I'm not the real Benjamin Franklin.
I'm Satan.
You know,
I'm Satan.
Lilith is actually who.
Have
brought
you
me.
accepted yourself into your own heart?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I have.
I was
Good,
baptized.
that's a good boy,
Wholeheartedly.
Satan. Now brush your teeth before
Thank
you go
you.
to bed.
Sophia led me to Lilith. If I'm to be like complete,
You know what? Just because you said that, I am going to not brush my teeth tonight.
I bet you if I go to your bathroom right now, test that toothbrush is going to be dry as a bone.
Uncle Buck? Are you going to be Uncle Buck? Is that what's going on here?
my actual beliefs, if you want to call it that, are quite complicated because I'm a Telestai, which was wiped away by the church, like entirely. What they call the Gnostics, you know, which people think is like an alternative form of Christianity, was actually not. It was part of the mysteries. They were called the Telestai, those who are aimed, the Telestis, and they were initiated to the mysteries, and they believed the goddess was like a living, breathing organism, which became the earth, not like a goddess of the earth, but the earth itself. And so I have very like animist, shamanic, pagan leanings, and so that's really where I am. And so like, but that story has been like eradicated from the earth, and so I'd be here for like 6 hours to like get into it. But essentially, like, we're in a divine dream that's turned into a nightmare, and like it's all conscious, like you say. It's all like a living, breathing, interactive dream that we're in, and it's been turned into a nightmare. The one thing that stays consistent within the pagan and the Christian idea is this idea of a demiurge, which is the god that everyone worships. But it's
Which
not.
is what you would say that is just that's just like an aspect of God's mind because of all his mind.
No, it's not. It's an anomaly, but it's not like a
So he's like the one. So wait, the one in the. So wait, the one in the Matrix is the demiurge. Wait, listen.
Duality.
The one.
Duality is literally a malformed response to this.
No,
like,
but listen to my analogy. But check out my analogy. Is the one in the Matrix the demiurge?
No,
because
the demiurge is born from an anomaly that came when Sophia basically became the.
But
you said he's an
don't
anomaly,
confuse,
meaning like right.
Just to be clear, don't confuse his beliefs with mine. Okay, he's not speaking for me.
So, like all the ancient cultures of the world worship the mother goddess, okay, in different ways, okay, and like some of the oldest ones believed in what was called Oneric mythology, and Oneric mythology is essentially that we are in a dream, but it's not like a matrix or a simulation or anything like that. It's actually interactive. It's living, it's breathing, it's real. Okay.
So where would you differ, Satan?
So I think I'm more closer to like analytical idealism. So I think we're all disassociated alters. So
that's kind of true.
There's like, so you think of like this non-dual mind, right? And one way you can get to this non-dual mind is through. All right, so just let me finish, okay? All right, so look, think of non-dual mind, right, as if you negate all your senses, okay? You even negate your thoughts. And now all there is just the space, the undivided space in which all of this phenomena occurs, right? So it's impersonal. It's the potential for form, but it is formless,
right?
Okay? And so it doesn't have any teleology. It just creates form out of its own potential, out of its own spontaneous creation. It doesn't do this on purpose. So that avoids any teleological fallacies. That avoids problem of why is the brain affected when it's injured, things like this, right? Because that is a disassociative boundary. The brain, when it's functioning, acts as a way for the infinite non-dual to experience itself as finite and dual, right? And so if the brain is injured, yeah, the personality goes away, and all there is this void, this oblivion, this non-dual demon, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, right? It is it's the abyss that stares out into itself, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the way I look at it. It's like the only reason why I call it a demon in the first place is because it creates a world of brutality. It creates a world of millions of years of suffering and evolution, right? Hold on, sorry, it's making me do this stupid puzzle thing where I have to like make everything fit. This is weird. Wait, this one doesn't. Oh wait, there we go. Okay, all right, I think we're back. Okay, so sorry about that. So the only reason why I call it a demon, right, is to differentiate it from the baggage that comes with God, right? Like classical theism and stuff like this, or a personal mind, right? This is like deeper than any mind you experience, because to have experience is to have relational properties, right? So for example, I'm looking at a room right now. There's a distinction between a door and a wall and the space around it, right? There's relational properties. I'm having thoughts, which are all different from other thoughts, right? They have distinction. I have different feelings, emotions, right? Different bodily sensations. These are all relational properties that make me up as a person. However, all that dissipates, and all there is the void. So to be unalived, right, through old age or something or whatever, right, is to just return to what it was like before you were born. That's it. It has a lot of the features of atheism, but it lacks the
passive nihilism of it.
It doesn't have the ontology of atheistic materialism, if we could even use that word, right? Is saying everything's made out of this quantitative stuff. And I'm saying, no, the quantitative stuff is not fundamental. That's the form. The formless is actually.
Yeah, you talking about that made me join, because last night I got into a long ass discussion with this guy, and this guy's like trying to defend abortion. I don't know if we can say it on here, but and he was like, well,
you could say abortion if you want.
For me, perception itself is the battleground, and perception itself is what's misled. If you're familiar with Dzogchen, it's a Chinese system.
No, I'm familiar with that.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's very much in alignment. I'm actually writing a book as well, and we agree more than we disagree. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, we agree, man. I just like talking to people that have
no, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not. I just wanted to.
But then at the same time, like we agree. I love talking to people that like have different.
Yeah. I'm sure we have overlaps at some places.
No, but I like that. I like when people disagree with me, but then we still have overlaps, because that's when I learn the most. You know.
Or what were you saying, bud? Sorry, man.
No, you're good. No, I was just saying, and they were talking about like, well, the qualia of the different brain parts we can measure between 18 and 24 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but what you're saying is there was no qualia and there is now qualia. And he's like, no, it's not quantitative. And I'm like, you're going from 0 qualia to 1 qualia to identify whether or not a clump of cells has personhood. Now, again, obviously I'm a Christian, so I fall on one side of this debate. But again, it's like I'm just trying to like argue with the fact that he's trying to deny quantitative, calculations in his morality. And he's like, well, it's about qualia, it's about the quality of the brain. I'm like, no, but you're saying this clump of cells goes from having no personhood to having personhood. Right. So it is quantitative, right? And this guy went on for like a long time trying to deny that this was a part of his philosophy.
Well,
right?
part of it's quantitative. Feelings are not quantitative, but they're correlated with quantitative brain states, right? Emotions are not quantitative, but they're correlated with like dopamine and stuff, or a lack thereof, right?
Right, or an overstimulation and a dopamine resistance, I guess you'd say, builds up or something, right? So
sure, but they're different. They're obviously different, right? And all I'm saying is look, with the arising of one, the other one arises simultaneously, right? And that's just how this. So everything you look at is consciousness. The molecule you look at in a microscope is consciousness. It's consciousness taking the form.
I'm a Christian, but I'm a Christian, but I pretty much agree with that. Like at the end of it, like I think that like, you know, animism, for lack of a better term, is kind of like the foundation of Christianity. Again, maybe most Christians would disagree with that, but that's definitely like my understanding of
but when I'm saying, because animism though is dualistic. What I'm saying is non-dualistic.
Not originally.
So one way you could solve the
Not
problem,
originally,
one in the many, for example, in this is if you think about it, right? When you go to sleep and you dream, right? And in your dream, there are different objects, characters, experiences, emotions, right? But when you wake up, what do you realize? There was all only ever mind. There were no divisions because it was all made up of mind. So like another way that they put it across, like in Veda, right? If you think about bracelets, right? So bracelet might be made of gold. You have a gold ring. You have a gold, let's say like a, I don't know, a gold brooch or something like this, right? From the perspective of relative reality, it seems like there's different objects, but from the absolute perspective, there's only gold, right? And so you could just think of mind as the one substance that can take on form, but it is ultimately in its core formless. It's like you have the sky, right? And the sky is space, right? And you have objects that exist in space. What is more fundamental? Well, you can't have objects without space. They have to exist in something, right? They have to exist in a void. So the void is actually more fundamental than the objects. So the phenomena that happens in the sky is contingent on the sky, not the other way around. And that's one way we can never get at the absolute infinite, right? We can never get at this non-dual demon through thought. You can never make it a thought concept because it is that which is aware of concepts. It is the space in which all of that happens. Right. So it would be like the finger trying to touch its own tip or the teeth trying to bite themselves, right? This is where I depart from what I would call like idealists.
You sound like a Christian.
Can I?
No, because Christians believe in God's aseity and they believe in creatio ex nihilo, and I believe in creatio ex demonio, or to put it another way, creatio ex Dio, right? So one is creatio ex nihilo is God is utterly separate from his creation, but he creates everything from nothing, right? And my view is that that's impossible because nothing is nothing to create from. But that actually God, if you want to call it that, I don't call it that, right? But if you want to call it that, creates from its own self, right? From its own infinite potential. And so everything is God, everything, literally everything.
Well, I can definitely understand that. Like I, honestly, like I probably would lean towards that rather than ex nihilo. Like I don't believe in ex nihilo.
That would make you a heretic, but if you want to do that.
Gaudium is not on the periodic table.
Like there's no built-in cosmic script. Human belief systems are constructed. The self feels less solid under scrutiny. Non-duality doesn't claim mystical oneness. At its simplest, it questions the assumed split between me and reality. When you examine experience carefully, you don't find a separate observer standing outside life. You find thoughts, sensations, and perceptions arising within awareness. This is awareness. Yeah. This is awareness in awareness of itself. It's what's called.
Although I tend not to use the word awareness because it's loaded. So what I'll do is I'll use apophatic terms like via negativa. So I'll say like mystical nothingness, non-dual.
The nil thing is all.
The nil, right? Anything that, because if you can think of the nil, it's not the nil. Kind of like in Taoism, right? The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao.
Right.
Right. And so that's why I don't use words like awareness, although I'm fine with it as long as we can qualify that. But I generally I make up my own words, just like I made my own neologism, right?
Right.
But we're basically saying the same thing, but with different words. You know what I mean?
No, I
get what you're saying.
I get you. But I'm actually writing something on this myself because I'm actually creating my own magical system because that's the best way to do magic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in magic, but I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's just tools, man, for perception. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
I don't believe it's like summoning like something from the underworld or whatever to like do my.
Yeah, I don't believe in spirits, ghosts, goblins.
No, I believe in forces of nature.
Any of that kind of stuff. I actually call myself a naturalist, which pisses most naturalists off because they identify as reductive materialists.
Right.
And I say, what could be more natural than consciousness itself?
Right. Well, I believe that nature has consciousness.
And
Yes,
the other problem is, if you really think about it, right, material doesn't make any sense because what's qualified in the definition of matter and material is mind independent. The problem, though, is that you can never experience mind independence. So that doesn't even make any sense. You can't even picture a world where mind doesn't exist because in order to picture that world, you would have to be the mind in that world, observing that world, which means it's not truly mind independent.
Well, wait a minute. If that's true, then how can nature not be conscious?
So I don't even think that materialism is meaningful.
No.
And there's also Hempel's dilemma, by the way, where they argue that materialism keeps moving the goalpost, right? Which is why a lot of them now call themselves physicalists. But in any case, there's a lot of reasons why I don't buy into that.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of.
The supernatural is the natural. The issue is not that there is nothing supernatural. The issue is that it's been made into something anthropomorphic or something off planet, or it's aliens or it's gods or it's somewhere out there, when really it's right here, right now. The natural is the supernatural, and we've been convinced otherwise. Magic is the understanding and harnessing of the visible and invisible laws of nature. That's my definition.
Anyway, who do you remind me of? Sorry, I get this a lot. You remind me of somebody.
Well, no, I was saying to my friend here, like he seems similar to like Hyperborean in a sense. That guy we know. Would you agree?
Okay.
Would you agree, Twilight?
I don't know. Because he believes in.
Because he's saying that he rejects materialism. That's why I was saying, like, that's why I was trying to,
He believes in the origin, though. And he believes that we're, basically, he believes in the demiurge. And he believes the demiurge, created this world. I mean, I guess in the sense that he believes that this world was, like, created by something dark, I guess. Maybe that is...
So I just want to make
sure I don't believe in creation at all. I think creation is physiological. I don't think anything was created. I think everything has always existed. There was no creation. Everything has always existed and has always existed. There is no time. And when I say there is no time, I mean there was no beginning, end, or present. It's always existed. It always will exist. It's eternal. There is no duration. It's just a consciousness moving through phases that appear to be, whatever, just like there's no distance. It's absolute non-duality.
Are you familiar with
Can I say
concepts?
something?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Now, let's just say, all right, that there's been a large population of people in this country that have wanted to separate themselves from big chemical, okay?
Right.
And they want to come up with a way of making all the necessary chemicals to, life without having to go to another company and pay for them to do it. And instead, they would rather just actually make the chemicals themselves with their own apparatuses that they designed. Clandestine, we'll say. And let's just say that these people get caught doing this and the government actually knows that they're not actually selling drugs, but they just decide to say that they're selling shrugs. And they just lie about it. And then just nobody ever finds out because most people aren't a part of that group. Okay, so how on earth would they know the difference? You know what I'm saying? It's not like they were at the scene. They weren't, the film crew filming the scene, They weren't the police officers, lying to everyone saying that they were making drugs even though they weren't making drugs. Matter of fact, let's just say that they had actually defined what they were doing as drugs, even though there wasn't any chemicals involved that were schmugs. We'll just say that the fact that they were cooking their own chemicals and that it could have been any chemical and they didn't have the ability to perfectly test what chemicals they were making, but they just said it was drugs for no reason. Okay? All right, let's just say that.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just had to get that out there.
That's kind of odd.
I know.
What does Mr. Federalist 9812 mean to you?
Is there context?
Nah, the Mr. Federalist, it's a rage bait.
Oh. Okay. All right. What do you mean by Federalist? Just
pretending to be a colonialist that just recently decided to take over America from Britain.